Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the darkest TikTok iceberg part 2. My most requested video ever on my channel. The last one completely blew up with 800,000 views. So thank you guys so much because the last time I made the iceberg, we were at 85,000. Now we're closing in on 150,000 subscribers. So if you like my personality by the end of this video, make sure to subscribe and maybe you could watch the 100,000 celebration, hopefully, because the goal for that one is 50,000 views and 10,000 likes. Anyway, I'm not going to explain how an iceberg works because this is part 2. Also want to mention that just like last time, this list is not going to be from most known to least known. It is going to be from most tame to most gruesome. Be sure to credit me. A lot of people have been reacting to my old video and they don't credit me in the description. Only one channel did that, so please, if you're going to react to this, credit me. Also, I want to let you guys know I'm not only an iceberg channel. I know a bunch of you found me through that part 1, but I am not an iceberg channel. I love making videos, basically. So if you like that, make sure to subscribe. But, you know, I make whatever I want. So if you guys like my personality, make sure to hit that subscribe button. And yeah, let's get started with the iceberg part 2. The tip. Faking disabilities part 2. Last time we talked about faking disabilities, we spoke about this man that was just pretending to be disabled in general. There was no specific disorder that he was faking. It was just, he didn't even explain it. That's how bad it was. But you guys were telling me in the comments that a lot of people fake Tourette syndrome and multiple personality disorder, aka DID. I always knew about these, but the reason I didn't include it in the original video is because I didn't want to call anyone out in case I called out the wrong person, and let's just say that person actually does have Tourette's. I would look like a horrible person. But luckily, someone was called out, and they were called out because they were faking Tourette's and they were caught. A user by the name of @TixandRoses was caught faking Tourette's. So this person would make TikToks showing their daily struggles dealing with this disorder. Though when they had a tic attack, this person was smiling throughout the experience. If you know anyone that has had a tic attack, you know that it's a painful and irritating experience, not something that you smile about and get giddy about. Anyway, this person was found out to be faking this because 1, people with real Tourette's were calling
but even this got
2,
controversial.
they had a second account focused on crystals, energy, and astronomy.
I privated the video because I didn't know what to believe anymore.
They had no tics at all throughout these TikToks and the live streams on that TikTok account. Eventually, their sister posted on Reddit explaining that they had never shown any signs of tics as children. She goes on to explain that they want nothing to do with the family anymore, but they are mentally ill. Now, in the case of multiple personality disorder, aka dissociative identity disorder, there are a bunch of posts on the subreddit called
their sister retracted the statement,
where a bunch of users are being called out. However, I'm not going to be calling out any specific users for the multiple personality disorder because I simply don't want to. But what I will say is, if there are people faking Tourette's, I'm sure there are a bunch of other people faking all kinds of disorders on TikTok. Cryptic translations. In late 2020, early 2021, users found out that typing re into the comment section and then clicking translate would lead to creepy messages such as, "It's crying, it's weeping." Cry. What is the meaning of the word? Lame. It cries out behind you. Suffering, it's all right. At first, I thought people were just changing the code or, you know, basically glitching out the TikTok system in order to make these comments look creepy.
We're still in the most tame section, though.
It was a genuine glitch that anyone could do. You could type it out and it would translate to that. But trying it out now in 2021, it seems like it has been patched by TikTok. So, I mean, I got it to work on one comment, if that means anything. Dissociative identity disorder is a new favorite thing to fake. Why does re translate to that's still very popular on TikTok. According to Google Translate, the word re and its variations could be translated to Maori, an endangered language spoken by one of the indigenous tribes of New Zealand. According to the Maori dictionary, the word re means to be angry, annoyed, or enraged. It does not mean Rihanna. The word ear, on the other hand, is detected as Shona, or I'm not going to pronounce that. I'm going to butcher that. One of the native languages of Zimbabwe and South Africa. So at the end of the day, it seems like TikTok was going off the Maori definition of re, but it would like glitch out because it interferes with the other languages, leading to some very messed up translations. Confused_me2. Confused_me2 is a TikTok account that one of you guys said I should include. So while editing this video, the account actually got taken down. But I think I described it with enough details for you guys to understand what's going on. So I'm just going to put some stock images as I talk about the account. Also, I really want this in the iceberg because I want to let you guys know to not believe everything you see on TikTok. The account only has 2 posts, and one of them shows someone squirming around in a garbage bag, and the other shows a river. The song playing in the background is I Feel Fantastic by Tara the Singing Android, a video we covered on the darkest YouTube iceberg. Anyway, the watermark says the video belongs to Devin KB816, but it seems that account has been deleted. I do think this is fake because, I mean, come on, it just looks so staged. It's like some teenagers just wanted to prank the TikTok community. And also, if you
it's very easy to do that.
First of all, you wouldn't upload this. Second, if that person in the bag shouldn't
Dan.
have their feet out, because then you can see their skin color. Now you could tell that they're a light-skinned person. All the community in that area would have to do is see who's been missing recently that can match that skin color and, you know, probably trace it back. And that was just me thinking about that. Imagine what detectives would be able to do. So yeah, I wanted to include this on this list on the tip because, guys, don't believe everything you see on TikTok. And imagine, like,
I'm still gonna believe everything. Because it's more fun that way.
Suffocating flies trend. In 2020, a new trend began emerging where users would trap flies in syringes and squeeze the bottom, alluding to the idea of the fly being squished to death. Most of the times they wouldn't squish the fly, at least on video, but sometimes they would actually post it. This is a rare case where someone actually claims they made the trend. The user goes by DJSHBDBDB, and his bio read,
"Hey girl, I made that squishing fly trend on TikTok."
Trend now. This user has since changed his
name
and gotten banned due to violating community guidelines. I saw some people arguing in the comment section saying, wow, Gen Z is so soft, we're really protecting flies now, but like, that's not the point of the argument. No shit, we all kill flies when they're flying around in our room. But it's just really stupid when people do shit like this for clout. Like, dog, everyone kills flies, but it takes a special kind of person to trap a fly, put it in a syringe, start squeezing the bottom of it, and then post it for TikTok clout.
I don't feel like hunting that shit down. It's such a hassle.
Fly at 50K. The surface. Skinwalker dog. Before I get into this, let's go over the definition of skinwalker. In Navajo culture, a skinwalker is a type of harmful witch who has the ability to turn into, possess, or disguise themselves as an animal. One day, a woman posted a TikTok of her dog opening the door from inside the bathroom. She screams, "Oh my god," as the dog looks at her and closes the door again. The comments were full of people telling her that her dog was a skinwalker. Look, if the doorknob was...
yes. From Upper Kazuki. Yes, of course. The only man qualified to diagnose your dog with a possession. I have no doubt, too, that this kid truly believed it. They're like, oh my lord. That's our real possession. Just like in Demon Slayer.
Skinwalker. Look, if the doorknob was spherical, then yeah, I would be creeped out too. But the owners then showed that the doorknob was one of those lever type doorknobs. So, you know,
my
that's
dog
how
opens
the dog
doors.
opened the door. There is a whole community on TikTok dedicated to finding skinwalkers, but let's be honest, most of them are fake or just misunderstood. Bolivia College Incident. The Bolivia College Incident is another one of those situations where users would just upload these shock videos onto TikTok until they get taken down, because that's how a lot of you guys told me you guys found this video. Anyway, this clip showed a bunch of college students on the 4th floor all cluttered up together. Eventually, the railing breaks and students begin falling to their deaths. It's so scary seeing this one girl about to fall to her death, but is pulled up by a colleague. Usually I know about these shock videos that go around.
I've never heard of that.
No idea that this even happened. So thank you guys for informing me. Also, to the people posting this to get clout or likes or just shock value.
Fuck? When did that happen? I've never heard of that in my life. Well, I'm not looking it up on stream, obviously, but I've literally never heard of this ever. It happened in 2021. What? Damn, what overshadowed this? Like, did Dreams stream during this day or something? How is this not trending on Twitter? How far up were they? 4th floor, it says right here. It was all over Reddit. Damn, what the fuck was I doing in March of 2021? I never heard of that at all. Thanks to resub Watt and the resub Kazama.
You're fucking weird, bro. You're a weird piece of shit. The body.
Jesus, I'm sorry, I just haven't heard of it. Jesus.
TikTok
that man came after me.
April 24th, 2021 was no longer a normal day. Instead, it became TikTok's day. I'm sure you all remember this because the news seemed to have went mainstream, considering my mom was talking to me about it because it was being talked about on Univision. But yes, this was supposed to be a day where guys would go out and... girls? I don't think anything happened though. I read a lot of articles about it, but
it was just a big troll.
Anyone got hurt. At least I hope so. I hope no one got hurt.
I remember that one, yeah.
The person who started this trend can't really be traced. It didn't seem like there was a person. It seemed like it was just a community that did it all at once. So,
goddamn, man, thank you.
Yeah. Update on Cat Killer's identity. In part 1, we talked about the lady cat killer that would go on Omegle with the tag furry from 12 AM to 2 AM and would show off skinned and burned cats. She would also go on TikTok basically having fun that she wasn't caught. And in the video, I said that the authorities did get involved, but I did not mention who she was because I thought the internet never found out, which was stupid of me because This is the internet. The cat killer was found out to be Crystal Cherica Scott, a 19-year-old
so
woman
sweet.
in Indiana who apparently sold animal crush videos on the internet. She would go on websites looking for families that were giving away their pets and then proceed to kill them on video. When searching her home, FBI agents recovered numerous animal parts and skulls that were consistent of the size of cats and dogs. Agents also discovered approximately 3 live dogs, 12 live cats, and several lizards. Scott is facing up to 7 years in prison, 3 years of supervised release,
that
and
is
a
so
maximum fine
fucking
of
stupid.
$250,000.
That is so dumb that they are not more strict on that. It is fucking shocking. Even if, let's say you don't even like animals. Let's say you're a person that just fucking hates animals. At the very least, there is so much documentation to prove that people that harm animals or torture animals on camera for views or to sell the videos are literally the most likely to be serial killers. So even if you fucking hate animals, there is no argument where this person should ever be free again. For this long, this many tortured and killed animals on camera, there is no world where this person should be allowed back in general population. Fucking crazy. 7 years maximum with 3 years of supervised release. Good lord.
Foreigner challenge. So the foreigner challenge is something I witnessed people talking about, but never saw any of the videos themselves. I mean, thank God, because this seems horrible. So this was a trend that started in April of 2020, where people would post compilations of little fan edits of themselves, basically, with Pop Smoke's song Foreigner playing in the background. Rest in peace, Pop Smoke. You cannot say pop and forget the smoke. Except the people in these edits would put their into these edits.
Yeah, exactly. The animal harm is often a precursor to murder. Like almost every single murderer, like Richard Kuklinski, the Iceman, claimed to have killed over 200 people when he was working as a hitman for the mafia. Jeffrey Dahmer, I believe, also in that group. Ed Gein, pretty much everyone. Ted Bundy, I think, as well. Pretty much everyone you can think of all started with killing animals. Like just like torturing animals as a kid in their home or finding strays and beating them to death. They all started there. And yet still the law doesn't seem to take it seriously. Crazy.
Which is already weird for TikTok. I mean, that's against community guidelines. But the reason this foreigner challenge blew up was because the main people
Thanks
doing
to
this
CJ
were minors.
and the 5 gift subs, Tyler. Thank you, Tyler.
Little girls. I don't know why. I don't know either. But basically a bunch of like bigger TikTok influencers were just like calling this out and telling like people to report these videos right when they saw them and, you know, trying to stop it basically. And I guess it worked because I've never seen one to this day. Again, thank God I haven't.
Well, yeah, you'd be in jail if you did.
Suitcase murders. In the summer of 2020,
I remember this
teenagers were using an app called Randonautica. This app provides you with totally random coordinates within a set radius. You can then choose if you'd like to adventure to that point. Honestly, it seems like a fun app. I might even download it after this video. No, this is not a sponsor. But in this case, these teens were led to some rocks on the beach. While there, they discovered a suitcase that they said smelled horrible. After recording some of it, they called the police, and authorities later discovered that there were human remains inside of that suitcase.
This one was real.
The man
I remember
was
this.
27-year-old Austin Winter, who was killed by a gunshot wound. Police also connected this to another body they had found a month before near the same location. And that body belonged to 35-year-old Jessica Lewis, who was his girlfriend and died from multiple gunshot wounds. The killer hasn't been found to this day. Also, the family's GoFundMe is linked down in the description in case anyone wants to visit it and donate.
Thanks to resub Kazbot.
TikTok Bangladesh human trafficking. In June of this year, Bangladeshis were shocked when they saw a video circulating on WhatsApp. The video showed an almost 4-minute clip of a woman being gang and tortured by 4 men and 1 woman. Authorities got involved and were able to save this woman, which was a victim of human trafficking. The reason this is on the Iceberg is because a popular TikTok influencer who went by the name of Babo not only and trafficked the women in the video, but also would use his social media clout to lure 50 other women into a cross-border human trafficking ring between Bangladesh and India. Traffickers use TikTok and Facebook groups to find women in Bangladesh. They were lured to India under the false premise of either shooting videos or finding employment. Man, that's sick. Imagine like a struggling woman in Bangladesh looking for a job, looking for employment, just to be lured into one of these
No, I don't think
Puberty
I've ever heard
advice
that one,
pages.
Goblin.
In May of this year, an account on TikTok began gaining traction called Puberty Helper 101. The goal of this page was to help little girls go through puberty and deal with the changes their bodies were going through. But eventually, people found out that the owner behind the account was a grown man. It was even more disturbing when the account posted this. Hey guys, I'm going to pick 3 of you randomly and DM you and give you my phone number to help you and talk you through anything you need. If any of you would find this helpful, write in the comments and maybe I'll pick you up. What the fuck? This TikTok account.
Thanks, Austin Jones, I guess.
Community found out it existed.
Who ran that account? EDP? Like, goddamn.
In April of this year, a 12-year-old boy by the name of Joshua passed away due to attempting the quote-unquote blackout challenge. This challenge consisted of choking yourself until I remember this one. Joshua's twin brother ended up finding him unconscious on the bathroom floor. This resulted in Joshua being brain dead and being on life support for 19 days until eventually passing away. Their GoFundMe is also linked down in the description. They're almost near their goal. Their goal is $200,000. Yeah, if you guys want to donate, then donate, but rest in peace to Joshua. Rest in peace. 1444 video. The 1444 video is another video that would circulate around TikTok, just like the Bonnie McNutt video and the Bolivia college incident. This 2019 video showed a teenage Russian boy sitting on his couch saying a quote and then shooting himself in the head with a semi-automatic rifle. The way this video got its name is unknown, but I'm sure someone just button mashed, you know, just 1444. But it was actually uploaded to YouTube with the name 1444 and was left up for 3 days. So YouTube just didn't take it down for 3 days straight. Anyway, the young man in the video went by Gleb, and I'm not gonna pronounce his last name, I'm gonna butcher that. And the story goes, and I quote, according to friends, the young man decided to commit after a quarrel with his girlfriend on the basis of jealousy. Against the backdrop of personal problems, this event became a fatal, irrevocable moment, after which the young man decided on a desperate step. Beloved Gleb was a 17-year-old Muscovite Elsa Gumirova. Girl showed no interest in the last hours of the young man's life and didn't even go to the broadcast. She refuses to comment on what happened.
Why would she go to the broadcast?
I think that's probably a translated paragraph because the English wasn't that good. Fucking traumatizing. Please take this as a grain of salt because that was submitted by an anonymous user. He was live streaming this on VK, which is a social media in Russia. Before he commits, he says a quote, and that quote translates to, Nikita, if you tell my parents about this too quickly, I'll get you from beyond the grave. I know that you have their phone numbers. Anyway, how does the saying go? Neon Polka. Neon Polka is a reference to another Russian person that also committed. And that person actually laid on train tracks and was, I don't even know if I could say that, but her head came off on the train tracks, and her last post on social media said Neon Polka, and it became like a meme in Russia, I guess. So you say that before you commit.
What a fucking
to make matters even worse, Gleb's
awful way to go out.
The video from his account, so she had to sign in and delete it because I guess VK just wasn't taking it down.
Sub-zombie. I don't know why that reminded me of something. Do you guys remember the hot coil challenge? That was back with the Tide Pod eating shit. There was a dude who threw his arm onto like a hot coil on his stove for the hot coil challenge. Anyone know what ever happened to that guy? And then he just like burnt the shit out of his arm, like probably a permanent branding. And then he was about to do it again before his friend stopped him. It never caught on or anything. But I was just wondering, does anyone have a follow-up to that? No follow-up? Damn. He's got nice scars. No, he's got stupid scars because it was literally just a hot coil. So his scar is just going to look like a pile of dog shit on his arm. It's not even like a cool scar or anything. Thanks to Tier 1. London resub zombie. I guess no one knows what happened to the guy.
Chao Kiyome. Chao Kiyome was an Asian TikTok influencer with over 100,000 followers who was also a crane operator. She would make videos showing her daily life and made innocent videos. One day, while live streaming, she accidentally misstepped on the crane and fell 160 feet to her death. There is a video of this, but it doesn't show anything because the phone's just like rapidly spinning in the air. Yeah, I mean, rest in peace to her. I don't know if this was one of those like shock videos where people would just post it on TikTok. I'm sure it was. If you guys are telling me in the comments, I mean, I'm sure people would post this too, which is so fucked up. Stillborn TikTok. Mothers coping with the loss of their unborn children isn't anything new. I guess it just comes to a shock to people when they see it on TikTok or any other form of social media. The loss of a child
weird
is
to do that.
I never want to feel, let alone a child that you never got to
I knew about
Most women cope with this loss by holding the child in their arms and pretending that they're alive, even if it's just for a few hours. Usually it's done right after the delivery. I guess. A lot of you guys were telling me about these mothers that go through these traumatic experiences, and I feel like you guys wanted me to really go in on it, but I'm not. It's just these women coping with a horrible scenario. If it's how they cope, then let them. And if you don't like it, then keep scrolling. Even in the case of this one woman everyone was attacking because she seemed quote unquote happy in her videos. Now, I understand everyone on the internet.
I know which one he's talking about.
A woman holding a dead child. And yeah, smiling while holding a dead body is something I'm sure none of us would expect to see. But I hope none of us have to go through what this woman had gone through. And not only her, but the millions of other women that deal with this that just don't post about it. It's
kind of weird to post it. It is. On your For You page, it absolutely is. It's fucking stupid.
Just keep scrolling.
Again, it just feels like
Sierra
mom's
Halseth
trying to make everything likes on TikTok.
Sierra Halseth and 18-year-old Aaron Guerrero were dating for some time, but Sierra's father did not approve of their relationship. The reason for the unapproval is unknown. Perhaps it was the fact that he was 18 and she was 16? Anyway, these two teenagers ended up murdering Sierra's father due to him not approving of them being together. The creepy part is that they posted this TikTok acting like it was a normal thing to do.
I don't know what to say.
Welcome back to our YouTube channel. After murdering Day 3 after murdering somebody.
Whoa!
Whoa, what a way to start a vlog. Hey,
had been
hey,
stabbed
whoa.
to death and his body was set on fire. His body was found in his own garage. Cops say Sierra and Aaron then took off in her dad's car right after the event. They were arrested days later 400 miles away in Salt Lake City after apparently trying to dodge a train fare. The teens were also caught on camera buying these tools such as like bleach and other cleaning products like if they were gonna clean up the murder scene. The teens have been charged with murder but haven't entered a plea. If convicted, Guerrero could face the death penalty. Because she is a minor, Sierra faces life in prison.
That's
CP/gore profile pictures. Again, you guys requested this, but this one's pretty self-explanatory. I'm happy I haven't seen any of these, but you know how on TikTok with there was like an update a couple updates ago where you can now set your profile picture and you can also set like a video profile picture. So I think people were abusing the video profile picture thing, and whenever you would click on their account, it would play a clip of CP or gore, which is so like, bro, why? You're weird. Yeah, I'm assuming there was
well, it's more than weird. It's
gross.
It's a fucking crime. Like,
so yeah, that's it for part 2 of the darkest TikTok iceberg. I think we're done because it was even hard to come up with this list. If I earned your like and if I earned your subscription, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. My next video is going to be a really nice video. It's not an iceberg. Like I said, I am not an iceberg channel. So don't
we already did part 1.
I'm an iceberg channel. I talk about anything I want. And
nice. I only knew a couple of those. I knew more from this one than that one, actually. Yeah, we might as well just finish it, I guess. I can't imagine there's too much more that he hasn't covered, because he's doing really broad topics instead of, like, specific instances, or at least in this that he did. So yeah, we can finish it.
Hello guys, welcome to the darkest TikTok iceberg part 3, the final tier. I do want to start by explaining how this video is going to work, because it is a little bit different from the first 2 parts. So first I want to start off by saying I'm not an iceberg channel. just want to get that out there. If you guys want to watch my last video, make sure to go watch it after this video. It is called Cartoon Episodes That Traumatized Children. So yeah, if you like morbid horror video essay
I already know what's going to be on there.
Make sure to hit
Courage
that
of Charlie Dog, King
anyway,
Ramsey's
usually
Curse.
we go from most tame to most gruesome, but for this video we will be talking about 10 topics, those being the worst of the worst that we could find. And why do I say we? Well, today we actually have a co-host for this video. Joining me today is the amazing True Crime Cam. You guys may have seen her TikToks on your For You page, considering she has 1.3 million followers on the app. I just really needed someone who had the TikTok knowledge. So this video will be split evenly. I'll go once, then she'll go, then I'll go, then yeah. Make sure to subscribe to her. She's gonna earn your subscription by the end of this video, trust me. Also, thank you guys so much for letting me get the 100K plaque. That's so amazing. When we started this series, I was at 85,000. Now we're nearing 200,000.
Isn't he close to like 500K
so thank you guys so much for sticking around.
He's over.
And
God damn, he's popping off.
Grab a snack. Let's get started with the video.
Jesus. I feel like he was at 500K like a day ago, or whenever we watched the first part.
Jonathan Melindo. I don't want to say his actual name, simply because I think YouTube demonetizes whenever you say his name. That's why we're going to go with Jonathan G. You guys most likely have heard of this, but let's keep talking about it. Jonathan G was a TikTok account that appeared in 2020, but the original account has since been banned. To understand exactly who and what Jonathan G is, first we have to go back to 2016 and inform ourselves about the Blue Whale Challenge. The Blue Whale Challenge began in Russia and was basically this game where anonymous users on the internet would manipulate young teenagers into themselves. The challenge would last for 50 days and you were supposed to do one challenge a day. The last challenge involved jumping off of a high building. It is believed that Rina Palenkova was the first victim of this horrible game. We spoke briefly about her in part 2. This happened again in 2019 with the infamous Momo picture, which I can't show or else this video would get demonetized. YouTube does not like this image because of just how controversial and popular it became and the negative connotation it carried with it. Then in 2020, the same type of challenge returned, but in the form of Jonathan G. So, where was the first sighting? Apparently, the first sighting of any of these accounts was on TikTok, going under the username @JonathanG54.
I remember the Momo thing.
Eventually, more and more people began adopting this Jonathan G persona. These people would message others on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and Discord, and force them to play their game. Yes, this game involved harming yourself and eventually committing. If you're wondering how these anonymous people were able to convince these young teens into doing these horrible actions,
I don't think they did.
Because they would threaten to dox, which means find your address, kill your entire family, and do other disgusting things. Usually, they would send a link, and if the victim clicks that link, their IP address is leaked. Then, all the Jonathan G accounts would have to do is copy and paste that into an IP address finder, and boom, he has enough to scare a kid with. So now that we all know this is just Blue Whale 3, who is the real Jonathan G, and who is the person in the images? Well, the origins of the name cannot be traced back to anyone. I'm assuming it's just a random name someone came up with and everyone else just rolled with it. But the person in the images is Samuel Kanini, aka Dusky Sam. He wrote on Twitter, "Hello everyone. This Jonathan G madness seems to be terrorizing a great many young, impressionable people. The photos and videos are mine from 2012 to 2013. They were for my own amusement then, not for some modern day thrill seeker looking to scare and bully people. If you get some message from anyone starting up some game, do not engage with them. Do not let them into your life. This world has enough real problems, and suffering or dying for someone's cheap pleasure should not be one of them." Sadly, this game and all the other versions of it have resulted in a lot of kids committing.
Well, I don't think so. If I remember correctly, I haven't done research on this, but I do remember that Momo thing. I don't remember Goofy, whatever that is. I remember that guy's face, but I don't remember that being anything like further than that. But the whole Momo thing was all just a complete hoax. It was all completely fake. No one actually like hurt themselves or anything like that. I don't even know what I type in to find it. Momo related deaths, maybe? Let me see. Oh, that's what it was called. The Momo Challenge. Yeah, the Momo Challenge hoax. I don't think there was an actual case of somebody, you know, killing themselves from it. Who Momo is? I don't know why you asked that so awfully, but it's this thing. It's a picture from some old horror skit or something. This thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure no one ever actually hurt themselves. It was just people making it up, and then places like Mirror ran with it. So like, here's Mirror's headline. Momo Challenge victims revealed, kids as young as 12 killed by twisted craze. But I don't think any of it was ever actually real. I'd have to look more into it, but yeah, I do remember it all being outed as like all those stories that were reported weren't actually true. There's a Prime Outlander and the resub Dictron and Tier 1 Hammer. Give me one sec. Okay.
This 11-year-old boy in Italy, and he left a note on his tablet, like his final message, and that...
Okay, people keep saying Blue Whale. I don't even know what that is. That is foreign to me. I know Blue Waffle, I've never heard of Blue Whale before, so I don't even know what to look up here. Blue Whale death? Well, I just got videos of blue whales dying, okay, so probably not. What do I look up? Blue Whale Challenge? Okay, let's see. It was a Russian thing? The piece, so there was initially an article that came out linking multiple children's suicides to the Blue Whale Challenge, and then it is critiqued by saying the piece was later criticized for attempting to make a casual link where none existed. None of the suicides were found to be a direct result of the group activities. Claims of suicides connected to the game have been reported worldwide, but none have been confirmed. That's what he's talking about. Well, I know, I'm just saying, like, I've never heard of the Blue Whale one, but none of this was ever, like, actually confirmed, ever.
At Red, I love you, Mom and Dad. Now I have to follow the man in the black hood. I have no more time. Forgive me. I just can't believe people are out there trying to manipulate kids into doing this. Just why? Because it's fun? Because it's cool? Like, if it makes you guys feel any better, people actually were caught trying to be this Jonathan G character, and they were sent off to prison.
And thank you for the tier 1.
Hello everyone, I'm Cam, aka True Crime Cam on TikTok. I also have a YouTube channel if you want to subscribe. I would love you forever. And I also want to say thank you to Tuv for inviting me to collab on this video. You're awesome. Okay, let's get into it. Let's talk about John Ferry, aka the founder and CEO of John's Bones. I'm sure a lot of you have seen this guy on your TikTok For You page at least once. And if you have seen him, you would remember because he has a massive collection of human bones. He's come under scrutiny recently because people are questioning if his business and the way he treats the remains are ethical. John told Mashable this in an email referring to his business. Quote, "These pieces are not decoration. They are teaching tools and serve a very important purpose." This is a very hypocritical statement considering John has dressed up these human remains and let his cats play with them like toys.
Oh. I was gonna say, like, that's a pretty reasonable response.
How to tell the difference between a male and female skeleton? By fisting. We drove to buy a real human skeleton. The thing about the question of where do I get them from?
I bet the people would be happy to see their bones being so enjoyed.
It doesn't matter to like 99% of you because you won't do anything with that information. And the second thing is it's kind of like going to your weed dealer and being like, where do you get your weed from?
I first want to point out that John is not an osteologist, which is a trained professional who critically analyzes and evaluates remains to determine where they came from, how old they are, etc. People have stated that if he tried to get into this field, they would shut him down as soon as they saw his TikTok. John is just a designer, a rich guy in New York City that started his business with the help of his parents. John buys his remains from old medical collections or bone traffickers, then sells them back to the public under the guise of making the study of bones and human anatomy accessible. Anyone could buy these human remains and do whatever they want with them. You could close out this YouTube video right now and go buy some human bones. That is it.
Give me just 1 second. Is that true? I had no idea. I know you can buy, like, I remember in college some classes had human bones to teach. I didn't realize that was just something I could get on Amazon. Let me see. Bone trafficking? Let's see. Looted skulls and human remains are being sold in the black market. So where is this site? Because that's not coming up for me. Is it on Etsy, maybe? And do I get to know whose bones they were? Like, do I get, like, a picture of what they looked like before death? And it's like, hey, it's belonging to fucking Paul Cheeseburger. These are his bones. Thanks to resub Skykill and Squatch. Yeah, I just read about that, Shadow, but like I said, there's no actual reports of that being real or anyone actually doing that. Thank you to 2K Bits, Nick, and the resub intervention. Thank you for that, Nick. Yeah, I don't know where I'd find bone traffickers. They're like an NFT. I mean, unironically, you get more value out of human bones than an NFT. Yeah, this guy seems like a real maniac.
If you have the thousands of dollars to spare. There's also absolutely no way to know if these bones were collected ethically. I mean, if someone really donated their body to science, do you think they want to be hung in some random New Yorker's apartment put on TikTok? So the even darker side of this practice is the history of colonizers grave robbing indigenous people and stealing their bodies for, quote, scientific collections. At one point, John listed for sale the skull of a Sami person. The description of the skull also included a slur in reference to the group. Once people found out, he quickly removed it from his website and didn't address it. To give some background, Sami people were routinely collected during the 19th and 20th centuries through grave robberies, excavations, and trade, none of which the Sami people agreed to nor wanted. Specifically, during the 1950s, 25 skulls were exhumed and examined to test racial theories. It wasn't until August of 2019 the Swedish History Museum finally returned the remains of indigenous Sami people to their original burial grounds. I want to end this topic by reading a direct quote from the Pedestrian article written by this individual. Quote, "Black, indigenous, and other ethnic bodies are not props for art. They are not objects to be pillaged and dissected by anyone. They are not exhibitions."
So is that what John was doing? Was he personally going and exhuming these graves?
And we shouldn't be okay with the private
trade, or he just had his mom and dad's credit card and bought bones,
which people have no ethical right to procure in an industry built on racism and violence.
Gemini, corrected. Okay, so in part 2, I spoke about Gemini and Daniel Larson. I got some backlash for my bad research from a very serious Papa Gut. We spoke in DMs, and I even popped into his stream, and we had a very nice and wholesome conversation about the topics that I messed up on. He was extremely nice when educating me on both situations, but today we will only be talking about the Gemini situation, not the Daniel Larson one. Reason being, I was planning on talking about both Gemini and Daniel Larson and correcting both, but Daniel Larson, or at least I think it's him, left this disturbing comment under Papa Gut's video, which made me say, you know what, I'm not sticking my head any further down this rabbit hole. I spoke to Papa Gut in DMs, and he agreed that that situation is just kind of getting out of hand at this point. So if you guys want to know more about that specific situation, make sure to go to Papa Gut's channel. He has a bunch of videos about Daniel Larson. Anyway, back to the Gemini situation. In part 2, it seemed like I almost downplayed the Gemini situation. By the way, if you guys go back to the video is updated. Those 2 segments are actually trimmed out of the video. It seemed like I downplayed the situation, which is something I would never want to do.
Who the fuck is Daniel Larson?
About the R word here. I would never want to downplay that. I was telling Papa Gut in the stream that those were not my intentions at all. Like, I was not doing this with ill intent, you know? Anyway, I went on Papa Gut's Twitch stream. As I was saying, he was educating me on both situations, but I would like to share with you guys some notes that I took while learning about all the horrible things Gemini has done. So first off, I want to say that Papa Gut was actually one of the people that really pushed for Gemini's termination of all of social media. And judging from Papa Gut's uploads, it seems these stories I'm about to tell you happened in 2020, or were at least revealed in 2020. These stories are not in chronological order, but they are all true. Trust me, I tried finding it in chronological order, but wow, there is a lot to cover here. So I'm going to give you guys my main bullet points. Gemini registers as a miner on Yubo to talk to other miners. This isn't necessarily illegal, but the implications of this are very odd. Gemini has sex with a 15-year-old not knowing she was 15, and him being 19. Then Snapchat screenshots came out revealing that when he did find out, he still wanted to have phone sex. And him having sex with a 15-year-old is still illegal. Like, that's extremely illegal and irresponsible. As influencers, we're supposed to make sure that the people we carry conversations with on the internet are over 18. Gemini was an RA in a college dorm and would be creepy and break into girls' dorms, sit on their beds, and wait for them to come home. This resulted in Gemini being kicked from the school due to sexual battery. Papa Gut says he received this info.
Did he pull the naked man?
College. A girl came out with her story about Gemini in which she showed images of her bruised body and claimed that she was drunk, so Gemini took advantage of this, drove her home, and R-worded her. I in no way meant to downplay the situation when I first talked about it, and I'm sorry to anyone if it seemed like I was downplaying the situation.
I don't even know what you said about it.
It was all my fault.
It was just bad research on my part. I don't remember.
Gemini has since returned to Instagram as ZZER_00, where he took the religious route and praises God every chance he gets.
Happens every time.
You can even tip him or buy a cameo from him, which I said in the original video, which is why? Why? So yeah, this Gemini dude is disgusting and trying to get people to pay for his cameo, like, or tip him. It's absolutely disgusting. And again, thank you to Papa Gut for educating me on the subject.
I've never heard of him or Daniel Larson.
The killer that TikTok users found and caught. So on February 23rd of this year, Daisy De La O was fatally stabbed outside of her family's California home by her ex-boyfriend, 25-year-old Victor Sosa. Her body was discovered the next morning by a property manager, covered by a roll of carpet. Victor was a suspect immediately after her death, but he had already fled the country. Daisy's family and friends decided that they weren't going to sit by and wait for authorities to act, so they launched an investigation of their own with the help of TikTok. They posted videos and images of Daisy, shared her story, as well as images of Victor calling for people to share and find him. They used the hashtag #JusticeForDaisy. Luckily, the videos landed on the right For You pages, and tips started rushing in. Victor Sosa had been spotted working at a bar in Mexico called Papas and Beer. The person who sent this tip in said that Victor had been working at this bar for weeks and was living his best life like nothing ever happened. The tips were confirmed by authorities, and Victor was arrested on July 2nd. He was transported back to LA and pleaded not guilty to the murder of Daisy. Daisy had ended her relationship with Victor just weeks before her murder because he had allegedly been
This was not the story I thought it was.
Victor then texted her, convinced her to come outside, and that was the last time she ever saw her family. Daisy's mother, Susanna, told the media this, quote, "He took a part of my soul and I can never get it back until I reunite with her again. I hope he remembers my daughter's face every single minute of his life. I hope he rots in jail and never hurts anybody else." Susanna wants justice for her daughter and hopes by telling Daisy's story that other young women will find the strength to lead these abusive relationships. If you or someone you know is suffering in an abusive relationship, go to www.thehotline.org.
I feel like TikTok would actually be a really good tool for something like that.
Benadryl challenge.
Just because everyone has TikTok.
Trend surfaced on TikTok. That being
like, look at EDP, for example. EDP literally can't exist in even like a parking lot in bumblefuck nowhere without someone videotaping him for TikTok. That man can't go anywhere. So actually, maybe using TikTok as a resource for catching people would be pretty effective just because there is so many people on TikTok.
Benadryl is an over-the-counter drug that anyone of any age can buy. It's used to help relieve symptoms of hay fever, other allergies, and the common cold, as well as itchy skin due to insect bites. Teens began taking more than they were supposed to experience the high. Overdosing on Benadryl can lead to abnormal heart rhythms, hallucinations, seizures, and even death. So the typical dosage for Benadryl is 25 to 50 milligrams. These teens were taking 12 times more the expected amount and taking 300 to 500 milligrams. A teenager in Oklahoma died from this challenge, and several other teens were hospitalized.
An unthinkable tragedy. An Oklahoma teenager dies
How is
as
it
a result
unthinkable?
of the latest TikTok
It's a
challenge.
Benadryl TikTok
is also blamed
challenge.
for the hospitalization of at least 3 teenagers in Texas earlier this year. While young people may...
Now, I couldn't find any of these TikToks, probably because they were all taken down, but even if I did, I wouldn't be able to show you guys. If any of these trends come back, like try to make a comeback, please guys, don't let this happen. For the love of God, don't overdose on drugs and then record yourself and then end up getting hospitalized. It's one of the dumbest things you can do.
It is definitely up there.
The TikTok challenge that dares people to strangle themselves and escape. This challenge has been referred to as the blackout challenge, the game of choking, and speed dreaming. Even though this is public information, because this child is so young, I'm going to be referring to him as Junior. In June of this year, a young boy was found unresponsive in his room with a belt around his neck. This was also just in the last one. His family rushed him to the hospital where he was pronounced deceased. In an interview, Junior's family said, quote, "It wasn't until later on that we found out there was some type of video on TikTok letting kids know how to strangle yourself. But he's 7 years old, so how is he going to get out of it?" A spokesperson from TikTok has since said that the challenge has been banned from the platform. Junior's family encouraged parents to block various social media sites and educate themselves about what could be lurking behind their kid's screen. The effect of
as a parent, you have to know TikTok's not going to be great for
beyond the United States. In January of this year, Italian authorities launched an investigation into the death of a 10-year-old girl who participated in the challenge. The girl was discovered by her younger sister in the bathroom. Authorities then seized the young girl's phone. In an interview, the girl's family said, quote, "We didn't know she was participating in this game. We knew that she went on TikTok for dances, to look at videos. How could someone imagine this atrocity?" Italy's data protection agency even filed a lawsuit against TikTok in December of 2020. This lawsuit alleges a, quote, "lack of attention to the protection of minors." and it criticizes the ease in which young children could sign up and use the app. These are just 2 of the several kids that have passed away after participating in this dangerous TikTok trend. And this really begs the question, what dangerous TikTok challenge is going to trend next? And is TikTok even going to stop it in time, or is it going to take the lives of more kids?
Yes.
Zombie Woman is.
You want to know how you solve it? Unironically, YouTube had the solution. You have YouTube Kids, where you literally can't have anything but shit for kids. Then you have normal YouTube. And then they fucked it by just still allowing kids on normal YouTube anyway. So that's how you solve it. You have TikTok for kids, and you have a TikTok that kids cannot access. And the 2 never collide. That's how you also get rid of all your child predators. Easy. But then again, it's hard to well, you wouldn't know people's ages on TikTok for kids, I guess. I don't know how you'd enforce it. Right? We're prototyping right now in the lab. I'm still coming up with the solutions. Thanks to the resub Roston and the gift sub Mr. Asian. Require an ID to sign up? Yeah, but kids don't have an ID. What are they gonna give me? Their fucking Roblox username? Yeah, it'd be tough. How would you enforce it? A biometric scan? I don't know what the fuck you'd do. Social Security? That'd be good, because that solves 2 problems. Not many people want to give up their Social Security number, so then TikTok dies, and that's a net positive overall, too. So, yeah, I mean, I guess you could do SSN. Thanks to the resub. Necreus, Genix, and Roston. And the 5 gift subs Cyaxis. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Stanley. In part 1, we spoke about a woman in Seattle, Washington who was clearly in distress. Many of you were telling me in the comments that the woman in the video is a woman by the name of Marilyn Stanley. At first, I thought so too, but after more research, these 2 cases are actually completely separate. These are not the same people. The Marilyn Stanley case took place in Kentucky in 2017, and she was not recorded by anyone. The story goes that this woman was in an abusive relationship with her then boyfriend, named Zachary. Throughout the relationship, he would beat her, and she didn't leave because he threatened to kill her if she tried. Eventually, she was over at his house, and out of nowhere, he punched her repeatedly in the face. She sobbed and said, "Why are you doing this?" And he said it was because of a Facebook post. She was tagged in a post by some random guy, and Zachary ended up seeing that. But the guy wasn't so random. Marilyn actually went to the park with her son and her female friend. That random guy just so happened to be a friend of her female friend, and he just came up saying hi, you know. I guess they ended up taking a group picture where then he tagged her. He dragged her to his bedroom and continued beating her. Then his pit bull came and bit half of Marilyn's ear off. She blacked out and woke up to Zachary smirking, and he said, "Look at you. You're bald. Now nobody's gonna want you."
Jesus,
go look at yourself in the mirror.
Christ.
She describes going to the mirror, but you know, only seeing her bloody head. Didn't think much of it at the time. I mean, the adrenaline in you, and you just want to escape. He then continued beating her for another 2 hours straight. And this dude had the audacity to drop her off at her mom's house so her mom could see her. And then he just drove off. So then her mom drove her to the hospital. Gonna call the police now. And Zachary, he ended up blaming the scalping on his dog. But detectives were able to find out that the knife
his dog
he
a barber?
used had scalp on it. So it was obviously him that did that to her to make sure that she wouldn't be able to find a boyfriend in the future. And sadly, the pit bull was euthanized. This idiot ended up getting 20 years in prison, which, bro, honestly, I think we can all agree he deserves a lot more. And sadly, Marilyn has to wear wigs now since she cannot grow hair at the top of her head anymore.
God damn.
TikTok helped identify an Appalachian Trail killer.
Because that video looked like it was like makeup or something. I thought it was like from like a horror set.
Flowers Don't Growl.
Holy shit.
Went camping with her boyfriend at Fall Creek Falls in Tennessee. Taylor was just 5 months pregnant at the time and expected her boyfriend Chris to propose, so she heavily documented their trip. The morning after they arrived, most of the nearby campers left and they were left isolated on the campgrounds. That night, they heard a large boom and went to investigate. It ended up being a car crash about a half a mile away. They just went over and made sure that everyone was okay, and after police arrived, they made their trek back to their campsite. Ahead of them, they saw a man with a flashlight sprinting to the bathroom. They joked about it and assumed that this guy just really had to use the bathroom. However, instead of going into the bathroom, he just stopped, turned around, and started staring at the couple. He then said, quote, "Wow, you guys are fast." Chris thought he was referring to how quickly they got to the crash, and responded that they just wanted to make sure that everyone was safe. At this point, Taylor and Chris were just really confused and wondering why this creepy man had a weird smile across his face. They wanted to get out of the situation, so they just said they had to get back to their campsite because police were waiting there for a statement from them. They attempted to walk past him, but the man just kept moving towards them and playing with something in his hoodie pocket. This is where things got really scary and intense for them. The man said, quote, "Car accident? It got me thinking about when I was hiking and past these flowers. I stopped as they were beautiful and I heard deep growls and it scared me. And it made me think, you never know what day is going to be your last." This is when Taylor finally saw the outline of what the man was playing with in his pocket. It was a knife. She told Chris to run and screamed, quote, "Flowers don't growl," hence her TikTok name now. She and her boyfriend took off and the man started chasing them. They ran back to the crash site where luckily officers were still on the scene. The man must have been scared by the police lights because he just eventually wandered off and faded into the darkness. An officer accompanied them back to their campsite so they could gather their belongings and get the heck out of there. A whole year went by and there was no word from authorities on who this mysterious man was and why he tried to kill them. So Taylor went to TikTok to post her story and share her terrifying experience. Her videos went viral, and Taylor learned not only the identity of the man, but the fact that he had killed someone just 2 weeks after they'd crossed paths. A month after Taylor and Chris's scare in May of 2019, Ronald S. Sanchez Jr. hiked the Appalachian Trail. On the 10th, just 2 weeks after Taylor and Chris were nearly killed, Ronald made it to Southwest Virginia. This is where Ronald ran into the man that attempted to murder Taylor and Chris, who was later identified as James L. Jordan. Ronald managed to send an emergency signal via his GPS device just before James Jordan fatally stabbed him. A Canadian woman nearby was also stabbed and managed to survive by playing dead. She then ran back to meet the other hikers and made a 6-mile trek to safety with them. In April of 2021, James Jordan was found not guilty by reason of insanity.
Devious lick trend.
What? I actually just read something the other day that when you plead insanity, it's actually worse for you. Thanks to the resub, Hot Dog, Limbo, and 130. What was that dude's name? James what? Oh, my fucking searches are all fucked up now. It's just putting bone trafficking at the end of everything I Google. What was it? Not James Corden. The fuck was it? I was reading that, like, if you plead insane, it is significantly worse. Then you're just confined to a mental institution for, like, your entire life with no chance of parole or anything or some shit like that. James L. Jordan? Is that it? Oh, yeah. Yeah, so he's not free. He's still in federal custody. That's what I just wanted to see. Though there is that, we even went over this on stream a while back. Do you guys remember, I think it was in Canada, there was that guy on a bus who out of nowhere grabbed a knife and stabbed a passenger. I think he ripped his head off, like cut his head off, and ate his eyeballs while everyone else on the bus watched. Because they got off the bus, he just out of nowhere started stabbing some random passenger. They all got off the bus, and he just sat there in the bus and ate the dude's eyeball. That guy only spent, I think it was 5 years in jail, and then was let go. He's completely free, he changed his name, and now he works a normal job. He's just back in general pop. No, it wasn't drugs, it wasn't anything like that. He pleaded insanity. And I guess after 5 years, they said he was good. No, that's real. What the fuck was his name? We're kind of going back in time because we already did this, but let me look it up again. The killing of Tim McLean. But who's the killer? Vince Lee. Oh, the man formerly known as Vince Lee. Vince Lee was found not criminally responsible in the killing of Tim McLean. Bro, I don't know who he hired in court. He must have got Saul fucking Goodman. He was found not criminally responsible for the beheading and consumption of Tim McLean. So he was discharged in 2017 and changed his name, and he's back to business as usual. Fucking wild. He spent 7 years, though. It was 7 years, not 5. God damn. Wasn't drugs. Apparently, they said that he had untreated schizophrenia. That's what his legal defense said. Whether or not that's true, I mean, that's up to whatever you want to believe. But after spending 7 years institutionalized, they deemed him safe to be put back into like general pop. So he went to independent living. From independent living, he changed his name and now he's just full-blown like back to being a citizen. Though even the people that discharged him have said, I'm concerned about a relapse. So the man ate someone. Yeah. Not only did he eat someone, he ate like the worst part of someone. He ate a fucking eyeball. You know, like, push comes to shove, you and me, we're trapped on like a mountaintop, we're running out of food. The first thing I'm eating from you is not going to be your eyeball. I'd start with something that looks a little familiar, like maybe like your leg or something, like nibble on your calf. I would not start with an eyeball. Thanks to the resub, Bob, Lunar, and Straight Up. And the Prime Sinister.
This lick trend is the most recent trend that I'm going to be talking about, and it's so recent in fact that it's happening as this video is going to be uploaded. In case you don't know, hitting a lick means robbing someone or robbing a certain place. Shout out to GTA for teaching me that. Basically, high schoolers are stealing things from their school,
this one was trash,
and posting it on TikTok like it's some sort of achievement. At first, they were stealing things like the clock in the classroom wall, calculators, expo markers, but as time went on, kids began stealing things of way more value. Why? For shock humor and TikTok likes. They have stolen things like water fountains, fire extinguishers, bathroom mirrors, security cameras, hand sanitizer dispensers, toilets, and so much more. Not only this, but kids began like just basically destroying the inside of their bathrooms, just making it a living hell for all of the staff and janitors. This trend has actually forced schools to remove the bathroom doors, go on lockdown, make announcements, and overall just super glue everything to their facilities. It's fucking dumb. I'm just kidding. That last part was a joke. They don't have to super glue. I don't know how vandalizing and committing theft is a trend now, and especially the fact that you snitch on yourself when you post about it. You know, we only have 3 months left in 2021, and I won't be surprised if there's one more stupid trend just squeezed in there, maybe even 2, but I won't be surprised if we get one more stupid trend by the time this year ends.
TikTok user Frey Todoroki. A Brazilian TikToker who goes by Freya conspired with 2 friends to kill a girl. I'm really sorry if I slaughter the pronunciation of any of these names in this story. 19-year-old Raíssa Borges wanted to know if she was a psychopath. To test this theory, she conspired with 18-year-old Freya and 22-year-old Jefferson to kill a petite person that couldn't fight back. They made a list of 3 possible victims, eventually settling on 18-year-old Ariane Laureano.
That's what they decided to test.
On August 24th, the group invited Ariane into the woods to hang out. Ariane texted her mom that she was hanging out with friends and she'd be coming home shortly. However, Ariane never returned home and her mother never saw her alive again. The group planned the murder in great detail beforehand. They decided that after they were all in the car, they would start playing a specific song about murder. During the song, one of the teens then snapped their fingers, and that was the cue for Raíssa to attack Ariane. Raíssa then started to strangle Ariane, but ultimately couldn't kill her alone. That's when Freya and Jefferson joined in. As Ariane passed out, they stabbed her 3 times to make sure that she was gone. The group then disposed of her body in the woods and fled. Ariane's body was discovered a week later on the 31st after reports of a foul odor came to authorities. On September 16th, authorities arrested Ayesha, Freya, and Jefferson, and this case is still ongoing.
Hopefully it ends with
if you guys
life in
enjoyed
prison.
The video, make sure to leave a like, and if you're not subscribed,
if you want to know if you're a
please,
psychopath, just do what normal people do. See if you like Overwatch.
Also, don't forget to subscribe to Cam. She makes amazing content, and I'm sure if you guys enjoy my videos, you're gonna love her videos. Make sure to go check out her link.
I never heard of that story.
And also shout out to Papa Gut for educating me on the Gemini and Daniel Larson situations. And as for the Iceberg videos, I am gonna continue making them, but I don't want my channel to be an Iceberg channel. So you guys, I hope you guys can watch my cartoon episodes that traumatize children. I make morbid videos. I say it every time, but I want you guys to realize that and just don't subscribe to me because Iceberg guy.
That was good though. Those were good icebergs. I had heard of a decent bit of them, but not a ton. Especially not that last one. I feel like that one would have been bigger news. Maybe it was and I missed it. The new tub video. Someone told me it's about the most evil musicians, and he left out Ian Watkins, which is interesting. I'm imagining he did that because it's been covered a lot now, would be my guess. So he's probably looking for other ones that most people don't know.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today
I'll check them out.
I'll
see what musicians made the cut.
There is in fact no Danny DeVito in the back. Not forever. Just for this video and maybe the next one. But yeah, we got a Christmas tree. Woo, festive. Also, my album Ear Candy comes out next month. We're getting closer. We're getting closer. We're finally going to give you guys a package. You guys don't have to listen to Cherry Soda on repeat anymore. But yeah, like I've said before, there will be an Ear Candy album movie here on this channel. It will premiere live. And the album cover is officially released. Drum roll, please.
Thanks, Prime Princess.
The album cover is actually on my Instagram. I'm not going to show it in this video. We're almost at 100,000 on Instagram. So that would be amazing if you guys could go follow it. And also in news of the channel, we actually hit 100 million views.
Thanks, Tier 1 Looter.
Give it up for us, man. We did that. 100 million views in total on this Tub channel. Thank you guys so much. That's a lot of people looking at me, judging me behind the screen. I know you judged me behind the screen. Do you guys remember my hard drive video that I released I think 2 or 3 weeks ago? Well, I got limited ads. Boom. I'm not going to make a big deal out of that, but I will say a big thank you to today's sponsor. A lot of my videos just get straight limited ads.
Do I check the NORAD Santa tracker?
For companies that want to sponsor the channel. And today's sponsor is Casetify. Casetify is the world's most popular tech accessory brand known for their protective phone cases made from 65% recycled
materials. It's about evil musicians, so it's going to be their crimes, not their shitty music.
Individual style.
Well, I don't even know if all the music is shitty. I think I saw Johnny
types that offer high levels of protection, style, and sleek yourself however you want to.
Didn't we watch this? No, he just posted this.
You can attach to your phone.
I just made a video on the most evil musician.
I genuinely love this brand, and it actually has saved my phone a couple times. Make sure to go to casetify.com/tub today to get 15% off your order. Thanks again to Casetify for sponsoring this video. Alright, now let's get started with the video. Sid Vicious. John Simon Ritchie, better known by his stage name Sid Vicious, was an English musician, best known as the bassist for punk rock band Sex Pistols. Despite dying in 1979 at age 21, he remains an icon to some of the punk subculture. To say John had a troubled childhood would be an understatement. He was raised by a single mother who sold marijuana to get by. She later remarried and John now had a stepdad, but sadly, that man passed away 6 months later due to kidney failure. By the time John was 15, his mother's life was consumed by a heroin and opiate addiction, causing him to feel lonelier than ever. While attending Kingsway College of Further Education, which was a school for students with difficulties, John admitted to a counselor that he had thoughts of and that he would torture and kill cats in his free time. That same year, Ritchie met fellow Kingsway student John Ladon, who introduced him to his friends John Gray and John Wardle. All four, who became known locally as the Four Johns, quit school and began squatting in various dismal locations. 3 of the 4 Johns would then take nicknames. Liddon gave Ritchie the nickname Sid Vicious after Ritchie was bitten by Liddon's hamster, Sid. 2 years later in 1975, Glenn Matlock and Paul Cook joined the band, now rebranded to Sex Pistols. Though Ritchie still wasn't a part of the band, it wasn't until 1977 that tensions started rising between member Matlock and their manager Malcolm McLaren, which led to Matlock being kicked from their band for, quote, liking the Beatles. The work environment was pretty toxic, with Matlock revealing that their manager purposely made them pick fights with each other because he thought generating chaos between the band was a creative mechanism. Sid and his then girlfriend, Nancy Spungen, hosted a party in their hotel room, during which Vicious took approximately 30 Tuinal tablets, and while many people came and went, he was comatose for the rest of the night. At about 11 11 a.m. the next morning, hotel staff found Spungen dead on the bathroom floor, with a knife wound in her abdomen. Vicious was found wandering the hallway. He first claimed to have killed her, then said he remembered nothing. Two people who had been at the party stated that Nancy was alive at 5 a.m. The murder weapon was identified as a Jaguar K11 hunting knife, which Nancy had purchased for Sid a few days earlier. Vicious was arrested and charged with second-degree murder. He told police that he and Nancy had argued that night, but gave conflicting versions of what happened next, saying, "I stabbed her, but I never meant to kill her," then saying that he didn't remember anything. Then after that, saying that Spungen had fallen onto the knife. Later,
yeah, this kind of shit happened. Like, he mentioned the torturing and killing cats. That's where it always starts for a murderer, or I guess like a full-blown like psychopath fucking maniac. That is like the number one sign that someone will end up doing that to a real person. Torturing, killing animals. That is just the most common thread. I think the second that gets mentioned, they need to take that very seriously and monitor the person. There needs to be some very serious repercussions for that shit. That is just like the most cited correlation ever. Like an early sign of someone who will likely be a murderer. Makes no sense why it's still not taken super seriously. A lack of respect for life. I think it's still just that notion that, oh, it's just an animal. That's a huge distinction. He's just doing it to cats right now. He'll never graduate and do that to people, surely. But I mean, there's tons and tons and tons of killers. All, and very many of them, have no problem being open that it started when they were kids with torturing and killing animals. I just don't know like how much more evidence they need of that being a telltale sign.
The situation was a bit hard to get out of because Richie admitted to stabbing her. His manager, his mother, and his label were able to get a top-tier lawyer which arranged for Richie to be released on a $50,000 bail, with conditions that he wouldn't leave New York and that he'd sign in daily at the 3rd Homicide Unit offices. All legal costs were covered by Virgin Records. Just 2 months later, Richie found himself in another case when he was flirting with Todd Smith's girlfriend. No, not that Todd Smith, but he was flirting with a man's girlfriend, and when Smith told him to back off, well, Richie broke a beer bottle and jammed it into his face, leading to Smith getting 5 stitches and Richie being arrested and charged with assault. In January 1979, Richie would be released on a $10,000 bail. In the morning of February 1st, 1979, after completing his detoxification program, Richie was released from Rikers Island Jail. When he arrived in Manhattan, he met his friend Peter Gravel. Vicious asked Gravel to find him some heroin, and Gravel brought $200 worth of the drug to the apartment. Gravel said that they sat around doing drugs and he left at 3 a.m. when the hard drug use began. He noted that Vicious was already nodding off, but he also said that Robinson, which was another friend of theirs, gave Vicious 4 Quaaludes to help him sleep. Vicious died that night of a drug overdose. Deborah Spungen, who is Nancy's mother, claimed that Vicious wrote a letter to her when he was hospitalized saying, "We always knew that we would go to the same place when we died. We so much wanted to die together in each other's arms. I cry every time I think about that. I promised my baby I would kill myself if anything ever happened to her, and she promised me the same. This is my final commitment to my love." No one's ever gonna know if Richie actually overdosed on purpose to meet Nancy again, or if he genuinely accidentally overdosed. Chuck Berry. Charles Edward Anderson Berry was an American singer, songwriter, and guitarist who pioneered rock and roll. Nicknamed the father of rock and roll, he refined and developed rhythm and blues into major elements that made rock and roll distinctive with songs such as Maybelline, Roll Over Beethoven, Rock and Roll Music, and Johnny B. Good, which was featured on the classic Back to the Future. Writing lyrics that
I'll be honest, the main thing I know Chuck Berry for is that performance with John Lennon where Yoko starts banging a drum and making outrageous noises into a mic and he looks extremely shocked and uncomfortable. That's like the most I know about Chuck Berry and Yoko Ono. Well, Yoko Ono doesn't even know what the internet is. Yoko Ono still does that shtick. She's lived her whole life around this idea that people like to hear her make goofy noises. I will never forget that, I think it was 2016, 2015. She went to like an art museum and had her own exhibit where she just grabs a mic and goes, for like 5 minutes. Yoko doesn't know what the fuck the internet is.
Peak fame when Charles was 61 in 1987, he was charged with assaulting a woman at New York's Gramercy Park Hotel. He was accused of causing lacerations to the mouth requiring 5 stitches, 2 loose teeth, and contusions of the face. He pleaded guilty to a lesser charge of harassment and paid a $250 fine. 3 years later in 1990, he was sued by several women who claimed that he had installed a video camera in the bathroom of his restaurant. Berry claimed that he had the camera installed to catch a worker who was suspected of stealing from the restaurant. Although his guilt was never proven in court, Barry opted for a class action settlement. One of his biographers, Bruce Pegg, estimated that it cost Barry over $1.2 million plus legal fees. His lawyers claimed that he had been a victim of conspiracy to profit from his wealth. Reportedly, a police raid on his house found intimate videotapes of women, one of whom was apparently a minor. Also found in the raid were 62 grams of marijuana. Felony drug and abuse charges were filed, and the abuse charges were eventually dropped, and Barry agreed to plead guilty to misdemeanor possession of marijuana. He was given a 6-month suspended jail sentence, placed on 2 years unsupervised probation, and was ordered to donate $5,000 to a local hospital. Still don't know why the abuse charges were dropped, even though there was apparently a video. Later videos Barry recorded of himself urinating on a woman, and another of her defecating on him would surface. And one of the—
Whoa! Wait, this guy was like the original R. Kelly pisser. He recorded a video of him pissing on a woman like 10 years before R. Kelly did. Maybe R. Kelly was inspired? Interesting. The defecating, I don't think R. Kelly ever did. I don't think he ever got shit on by a woman. Well, he may have. I have no fucking idea. But that was never in any of the court documents. So he didn't want to go full Chuck Berry. It was a half measure. Thanks to the Tier 1 Sergeant and the 5 gift subs Destroyer. Thank you, Destroyer. And the Prime Grit and Resub Brain. John McAfee. Yeah, I still don't know if that one's true, but I still just love the mythos around that. It was rumored that John McAfee would hire prostitutes to sit in this special swing he made that had the ass cut out of it so that way he could lay under it and they'd shit on him. That was a kind of wild theory. Don't know if it's true. There's a lot of mystique around the life of John McAfee. There's really no telling for sure what's real and what's fake. I don't remember if we asked him that on the podcast or not. I don't think so. This is old lore. Yeah. Someone just brought up John McAfee. So I was just explaining why. You asked about the whale thing. Yeah, we asked him if he actually had sex with a whale, which he denies. But I don't remember us asking about a shit fetish.
Videos is it's on Reddit. Doesn't show that much, but you can hear a Chuck Berry fart and then ask, "Did I fart in your face?" Not gonna play the audio.
Oh, what?
It's pretty odd and wild stuff. Nonetheless, the
you can't tease me with that, Tov. What? Say that again.
Face on Reddit doesn't show woman, and another of her defecating on him would surface. And one of those videos is it's on Reddit. Doesn't show that much, but you can hear a Chuck Berry fart and then ask, "Did I fart in your face?" Not gonna play the audio, but it's pretty odd and wild stuff. Nonetheless, the dude was a fucking
Okay, hold on. Just pulling that up. This is called Classic Video Chuck Berry Farts on Prostitute. Okay, I don't know how crude the audio is, so I'm going to mute for a second and listen to this. That was a lot cooler than I thought it was going to be, too. It's not muted. Well, you're welcome then. How about that? That was hype. The video had like his legs over his head. It was like the fart was aimed at her face. Fucking weirdo bad guy though. Interesting fart though.
Creep. And he died on my birthday, March 18th, 2017. He died due to a cardiac arrest. It's so annoying that his music is built in all Teslas on their little Christmas mode. Hey Elon, this dude was a full-on predator.
It does seem that way.
Goldvik Ethan, aka Faust, is a Norwegian drummer known primarily for his work with the black metal band Emperor. In 1993, he was sentenced to 14 years in prison for, get this, murder. He's been out of prison since 2003, but according to Ethan, while walking home from a pub through the Olympic Park, a well-known gay cruising spot, a man named Andresen drunkenly approached him and solicited him for sex. Ethan agreed to go with him to the nearby woods, and there he stabbed Andresen 37 times. Ethan claimed that he felt no remorse at the time. Ihsan, his bandmate in Emperor, said that Ethan, quote, had been very fascinated by serial killers for a long time, and I guess he wanted to know what it's like to kill a person. The media has linked the murder to black metal, and speculated that Ethan was motivated by Satanism, fascism, or homophobia. In a 1993 interview, he stated, "I am not a Satanist, but I praise the evil." And in an interview for the book Lords of Chaos, he explained that he had been interested in Satanism, but there are other things as well. Basically, I don't give a shit. In a 2008 interview...
Which one's the one that's, what is it, the Church of Satan? I don't remember. One of those that's called Satanism or something to do with Satan is actually just kind of about, like, loving yourself or some shit. I don't think it's this one. Whatever this guy's talking about. But which one is that? Oh, the Satanic Temple. Ah, okay. The Satanic Temple. Yeah, because that one is apparently just all about, like, self-love and not worrying about, like, greater powers. Something like that. Thanks to resub Milky and Pupil.
Ethan said, "I was never a Satanist or a fascist in any way." In a 2012 interview, he said, "I never had any racist or homophobic views." Gal, who was an openly gay member of the Norwegian black metal scene, said that Ethan was the first person to send him a message of support when he came out. Police initially had no suspects, and Ethan remained free for about a year. However, he told Øystein Euronymous Arseth, Varg Vikernes, and a few others what he had done.
Damn, those names are crazy.
After Øystein murder in 1993, which we will talk about next, Ethan was arrested and confessed to killing Andresen. In 1994, he was sentenced to 14 years imprisonment, but was released due to good behavior in 2003 after serving 9 years and 4 months.
Isn't that wild? Murder is still something that you can just serve your time and come back from. I guess maybe there was some level of rehab at that particular prison. That'd have to be some fucking crazy rehab. Guy just randomly murders someone. I don't really know how you solve that problem. But then there's people that have marijuana charges that will never see the light of day again. Apparently marijuana is something you can never rehab out of. Isn't that fucking crazy? Yeah, true. I guess maybe it's just something with the prison system over there that's different here. I don't know. Still, though, I just find that to just be very sad.
Varg Vikernes. Now, the Mayhem Band is a topic you guys have requested a lot, but I honestly don't think I'm going to make a dedicated video to them anytime soon. There are some great documentaries here on YouTube all about that. However, I will talk about Varg Vikernes, the 1993 to 1994 bass player for the band. On June 6, 1992, the Fantopstave Church, dating from the 12th century and considered architecturally significant, was burned to the ground by arson. The cover of Burzum's EP, Ashes, is a photo of the destroyed church. By January 1993, arson attacks had occurred on at least 7 other major stave churches, including one on Christmas Eve of 1992. He was found guilty of several of these cases. At the time, media outlets reported that he was associated with some type of Satanism. In later interviews, Vikernes,
man, that satanic panic was in full effect.
Arsons said they weren't satanic, but instead revenge for the Christian desecration of Viking graves and temples. According to him, the arsons were on the anniversary of the Lindisfarne Viking raid. He claimed that all the burnings except for one were done by one person. In early 1993, problems came between him and Euronymous, which was the band's lead guitarist, which ended up in Euronymous' murder. It's been speculated that the murder was a result of a power struggle, or a financial dispute, or maybe even an attempt at outdoing the stabbing by Faust. On the night of the murder, Vikernes and Blackthorn drove from Bergen to Euronymous' apartment at Toyengata in Also. Blackthorn allegedly stood in the stairwell smoking, while Vikernes went to Euronymous' apartment on the 4th floor. Vikernes said he met Euronymous at the door.
Jesus, this is so much to keep track of. Holy shit. When he stepped forward
and confronted Euronymous panicked and kicked him in the chest. Vikernes claims Euronymous ran to the kitchen to fetch a knife. The two got into a struggle and Vikernes stabbed Euronymous to death. His body was found in the stairwell on the 1st floor with 23 stab wounds, 2 to the head, 5 to the
sounds
neck,
like self-defense to me.
To the back. After the murder, Vikernes and Blackthorn drove back to Bergen. On the way, they stopped at a lake where Vikernes disposed of his blood-stained clothes. Vikernes was arrested on August 19, 1993 in Bergen. The police found 150 kilograms of explosives and 3,000 rounds of ammunition in his home. On May 16, 1994, Vikernes was sentenced to 21 years in prison, Norway's maximum penalty. The murder of Euronymous, the arson of 3 churches, the attempted arson of a 4th church, and for the theft and storage of 150 kilograms of explosives. Though Vikernes only confessed to the theft and storage of the explosives, 2 churches were set on fire the day he was sentenced. Vikernes continued with his band Burzum, which included one other member, Samath, after his release. He released 3 further black metal albums, Bellis in 2010, Fallen in 2011, and Skiptar in 2012, and a compilation of re-recorded songs. In the years following his release from prison, Vikernes became an active video blogger on his YouTube channel, which was called Thulian Perspective, but YouTube removed his channel from the platform in June 2019. But by that point, the channel had 250,000 subscribers, so there's a chance if he redeemed the 100,000 subscriber play button that YouTube gave a murderer a play button. I'm talking about a murderer that already killed someone, not like a YouTuber that ended up killing someone. Like they rewarded a murderer with a 100k play button.
Vikernes, født 11.2.73, dømmes til en straff av fengsel I 21 år.
Well, that's
Johnny
two
Cash.
people here that are now out after murdering somebody. Huge. Wow.
Johnny Cash was an American country singer-songwriter. Much of Cash's music contained themes of sorrow, moral tribulation, and redemption, especially in the later stages of his career. He was known for his deep, calming voice, kinda like me. In Los Angeles in the summer of 1965, Johnny Cash was living in the wilderness of Southern California
was that a G-flat?
when he sparked a wildfire with his overheated truck. It blazed through more than 500 acres and threatened the lives of endangered condors. This took the lives of 49 condors, and there were only 53 condors in that entire forest. Sad because in 1987, the California condor was officially declared extinct in the wild, and it's safe to assume Johnny Cash had a lot to do with it. When asked by a judge if he started the fire, he said, "My truck did, and it's dead." So you can't question it. He ended up settling the case for $82,000, or about $500,000 in today's dollars. When held legally responsible by investigators, Cash made lovely statements such as, "I don't care about your damn yellow buzzards." Yeah, he was definitely feeling pretty remorseful. If you guys are looking for ways to support the channel other than just watching the videos,
what a piece of shit!
Already enough. Thank you so much. You can also buy from
Johnny
the
Cash
brand.
music.
The website is
I didn't know he was such a
earldoesn'texist.com, and we
douche.
currently have our Christmas collection. You can follow us over on Instagram as well. We have a new comic. We upload a lot of comics, so if you wanna go see the adventures of Earl, you can go check it out. Everything from the Christmas collection will leave on New Year's, so these are very limited. We're never gonna sell these again. Next year it'll be different Christmas collection.
Steve.
These
Good to see you, man. Hope
designs
you're doing well.
are
Happy
limited. Yeah, if you want to
holidays.
support the channel, if you want to look cool, if you want to get a special gift for a special someone, make sure to shop at Earl Doesn't Exist.
Sucks, but it's not murder.
Oh, yeah,
well, yeah, it's
by the
definitely
way,
not murder.
Make sure to use code EARL20.
I mean, I guess it is murder.
20% off anything
49
on the site.
condors.
This will expire on January 1st.
Not
And now
intentionally,
let's move on to the
but
next topic.
Still.
Ozzy Osbourne. John Michael Ozzy Osbourne is an English singer, songwriter, and television personality. He rose to prominence during the 1970s as the lead vocalist of the heavy metal band Black Sabbath. On February 19th, 1982,
Bit the head off a
Osbourne had a
bat.
few too many drinks and ended up stumbling on the street in nothing but his girlfriend's dress. He was in a dress because she hid all his clothing in order so that he wouldn't go out anymore, but Ozzy being Ozzy, he just put on her dress and left. He ended up taking a leak and thought nothing of it, and it was later revealed that Ozzy peed within the Alamo Plaza, not the Alamo itself, but still pretty disrespectful as it's quite literally nicknamed.
I actually remember this.
It holds this status because it
remember
represents
this
the
story.
Battle of Alamo, which was a pivotal event in the Texas Revolution following a 13-day battle where Mexican troops reclaimed the mission, killing most of the occupants inside. Police arrested Ozzy, who spent part of the afternoon in a local jail on charges of public intoxication. He was later freed that evening on a $40 bond and performed at the city's Hemisphere Arena Convention Center. This also led to him being banned from playing in San Antonio, Texas for 10 years. Once those 10 years were up, a sober Ozzy came back and gave a proper apology.
What? Are they speaking through a waterfall? What is that?
DMX.
Oh.
On July 1st, 2004 at 8 p.m., DMX, whose real name was Earl Simmons, and his friend were at the JFK airport, specifically in the parking lot for terminals 1, 2, and 3. Allegedly in a hurry, DMX and his accomplice were becoming irritated with the speed of the car in front of them. So DMX turned on the siren lights of his Ford Expedition. Why he had siren lights? I don't even know. DMX pulled
That's
the
so hype though.
And keep in mind,
what?
The dude was with his wife and his daughter. DMX told the guy that he and his friend were FBI agents and attempted to drag him out of his own car. After failing to do so, DMX returned to his vehicle and crashed through a gate, where he was then arrested by Port Authority police and found with multiple rocks of crack cocaine. DMX and his friend, whose name is Jackie Hudgens, were charged with cocaine possession, criminal impersonation, criminal possession of a weapon, criminal mischief, driving under the influence of drugs or alcohol, also for claiming being a federal agent and attempting to carjack a vehicle. The victim was originally seeking compensation in the amount of $4 million from DMX. DMX's attorney, Rich Cord, spoke on behalf of his client, explaining that the rapper felt he was justified in pulling the victim over and making a citizen's arrest. He went on to say, his vehicle looked like it was a police vehicle, and he believed the victim should have gotten out of the way. When the victim didn't get out of his way, he decided he should pull him over. He read.
What the fuck? This is the. There's no way this works. First of all, it's illegal to impersonate a police vehicle. You can't even have sirens. What do you mean? Like, that's already a crime. Like, a literal crime. I do love the excuse, though, that he actually wasn't trying to, like, steal their car. It was a citizen's arrest. I like that. That's an interesting angle. I like that one. That's good RP. You can buy sirens but can't use them. I don't even know where the fuck you can get sirens. I thought it was literally illegal to have sirens on top of your car unless you are a police officer. You can't flash red and blues. You can have, of course, like workers' lights and all of that, but you cannot flash red and blues. I think that's literally illegal. Amazon. Well, yeah, I guess you can get like toy ones and slap them up there. It's illegal to do, but you can still install LED lights. Well, yeah, you can still have, like, some kind of lights. I'm saying you cannot be, like, siren. You cannot... I don't even think you can have fucking red or blue headlights for that very reason. Am I right or wrong with that? You cannot flash anything red or blue because you cannot be mistaken for a law enforcement officer. It's illegal. Fucking hype, though, that for some reason he had law enforcement sirens for his vehicle. That's cool, I guess. DMX was just above the law. He was the law.
Parole. Here's a clip of DMX talking about it on The Breakfast Club in 2012.
I was rushing for a flight.
Right.
And this dude in a raggedy ass Honda, he driving wild slow.
Right.
Now usually if I'm in a rush, you know what I'm saying, and I'm in that truck, I'll hit the lights and, you know, throw the siren or whatever, and they get out the way.
Right.
But he was just totally disrespecting my authority. Not that I really...
What authority?
I didn't have the authority. But what if I really did have the authority?
Right, so you threw the light on.
Yeah, I threw the light on.
So you just have sirens in your car?
Well, that one, yeah. That one, yeah.
I think that made you feel like you had more authority than you actually had.
What?
Rick James Ambrose.
What the fuck? It sounds like they actually just gave him a law enforcement unmarked vehicle. What the fuck you mean? I just threw on the sirens. That's so wild. Yeah, I mean, at that point, goddamn, he basically was just like an unsworn-in officer.
Johnson Jr. was an
DMX
American
is his
singer,
own precinct.
songwriter, musician, and record producer. Born and raised in Buffalo, New York, James began his musical career in his teenage years.
I only know Rick James from Chappelle Show.
US Navy Reserve to avoid being drafted into the Army. In 1964...
Oh, I also know his iconic interview where he's like, cocaine's a hell of a drug. That's it. That's all I know about Rick James. What do the 5 fingers say to the face? Slap. And Charlie Murphy. Man, this has been a night of, like, remembering old Chappelle Show moments. That show was so good back in the day. Fuck me. I'm Rick James, bitch. I know literally nothing about his music or him as a person, though.
In 1981, James released his most successful album, Street Songs, which included career-defining hits such as Give It To Me Baby and Super Freak. By the
Wait, what? Whoa, wait. Rick James is Super Freak? Oh, okay. So I definitely know of his music. I just didn't know it was him that made it. Oh, I had no clue. I love that song. That song went so hard.
He was heavily addicted to cocaine and later admitted to spending $7,000 a week on cocaine for 5 years straight.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
On August 2nd, 1991, James and his girlfriend Tanya Hijazi were arrested on charges of holding 24-year-old Frances Ali hostage for up to 6 days, tying her up, forcing her to perform sexual acts, and burning her legs and abdomen with the hot end of a crack cocaine pipe. All of this during a week-long cocaine binge. Ultimately, James untied the victim and she fled his house. eventually checking in to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, where her injuries were brought to the attention of police, and her story unfolded from there. Sadly, many of the allegations made by Ali were not upheld. Due to his strong legal defense team, James managed to avoid life imprisonment after being cleared of the torture charge. You see, this is only one of the many stories when it comes to Rick James being a horrible person. And it didn't seem like Rick James was apologetic, as when another one of his victims was recounting what she went through with him, he was seen audibly snoring in the courthouse. Other stories include minors, which I'd rather not talk about. This is another one of those things that people just seem to not talk about.
Oh, holy
Frank Sinatra. There is a very famous picture of Francis Albert Sinatra, aka Frank Sinatra. This image is the infamous mugshot photo, and who would have thought that one of the world's best-selling music artists' arrest was, well, for a crime that doesn't even exist anymore. And what was that crime, you may ask? Seduction. This charge was usually applied when a man convinced an unmarried woman of good repute to engage in an inappropriate encounter with him. There was generally a promise of marriage that would never actually come true, thereby ruining the woman's reputation. It was basically when a man would lie to a woman of high standards in order to fuck her, usually promising marriage. In other words, the official crime for all the 1930s busters with Riz.
Oh my damn. It man actually caught a Giga Chad charge.
23-year-old Sinatra found himself in that situation, and he was officially arrested and booked for seduction. The charge was eventually dropped, and it was later discovered that the supposedly single woman was in fact married. Later that year, the original charge was revised slightly, and Sinatra was again arrested, this time for adultery. Adultery is legal punishment for cheating on your spouse whom you're married to. It's a really outdated law, which some states are actively trying to get rid of. These states include Alabama, Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Illinois, Kansas, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, New York, North Dakota, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Utah, Virginia,
so like all the states.
Wisconsin. I mean, this is a pretty lighthearted one on the list. I know the woman still cheated, and I feel bad for whoever her husband was, but imagine if this mugshot was for something way more heinous. Imagine it was like
Frank Sinatra mugshot for robbing blind old lady, then pushing her in front of a semi-truck.
It just wouldn't feel right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad it wasn't anything too bad from Frank Sinatra. What an actual wild charge. There was a time where it was illegal to have game. Jesus Christ. Hey, sorry to hear about that, Sinatra. But also, congrats and good work.
Elvis Presley. Elvis Aaron Presley was an American singer and actor, dubbed the King of Rock and Roll. He's regarded as one of the most significant cultural figures of the 20th century. His energized interpretations of songs and sexually provocative performance style led him to both great success and initial controversy. He became insanely famous with Heartbreak Hotel, which was his first #1 hit, being released in January 1956, and he quickly became a star. In Joel Williamson's book, Elvis Presley, A Southern Life, he writes about Elvis's life on the road, including his time spent with teenagers. Williamson wrote that while on tour, Elvis preyed on a group of 3 14-year-old girls who would pillow fight, tickle, wrestle, and kiss Elvis, who was 22 at the time. He also met his wife when he was 24. She was 14. Though they got married when she was 21, they claimed they never had sex. This has been questioned by many people, even to the point where a book has been written about it. Multiple books, actually. Now, Elvis was never charged with anything regarding these relationships, but he should have been, and I'm sure we can all agree on that.
I never heard that.
Thank you guys so much for watching the
fuck?
video. If you liked it, make...
Nice. Yeah, I didn't know most of those. I am surprised he didn't put in Ian Watkins. What he did is still worse than everything on his entire musical career. Everything he did behind the scenes is the most heinous shit imaginable. But yeah, I think the reason he probably didn't bring that one on is because of just how dark that is. Like, there is murder on here with these two in the middle. But I think Ian Watkins had so much, and all of it is so unbelievably fucked up. Like, the most disgusting things imaginable, that Tuv probably just decided that's a little much for this, would be my guess. Yeah, also no G.G. Allen. The biggest pedophile in music history. His charges include a ton of horrible things. The one that is probably the most shocking that most people know is the attempted rape of a baby. So yeah, I think the reason Tuv didn't include him in this list is because it's a lot. It's a lot. former governor of Vermont, Howard Dean, literally ruined his career over the Dean Scream. Wow. We actually have an old head in here. The Dean Scream is what Chappelle, back in the early days, made an entire skit based off of. We're going to Oregon. We're going to Vermont. Ah! And then Chappelle made an entire skit out of it. His career ended on the spot. That is a classic. Which is so stupid. It's actually... I'm going to play it. I'm going to play the clip. What was his name again? Dean... I'll just do Dean Scream. It's crazy to think of this now because at this point, this guy would get 1 million Twitter followers overnight and become a TikTok sensation if he did this right now. But this ruined his entire political career. This one moment, this one goofy scream.
You know something?
Tell him, Dean.
You know something? No.
Fuck yeah, Howard.
We will not give up.
He sounds like the president from Independence Day when he gives his last speech.
Arizona, or New Mexico, Oklahoma, North Dakota, Delaware, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan. We will not quit now or ever. We want our country back for ordinary Americans.
Exit Tier 1 raise. I don't remember this for sure, but I do remember reading that he was actually an extremely liked candidate right up until that moment. I'm going way into the data banks of my brain for that, but I think I remember reading that going into that, people fucking loved him. Like, people fucking loved that guy. But the second he did that silly scream, they threw him to the wolves. That was true? He had a lead in the polls? Okay. Yeah. Like, it is like a WWE performance. Just one and he cooks it up, too. Like, look at him charging it. It's like a spirit bomb.
Like the White House!
Yeah! Yeah! And then Chappelle kind of just dug the nail in the coffin. He made a whole skit about it.
We're going to South. Just kept on with it. This one.
Howard Dean finally, God rest his soul, had his political career ended. Just one scream. Ahead of his time, though. Like I said, if he did this today, he would be extremely popular for it, and he'd get a lot of new fans. Is he alive? I don't know. I always just assume when I stop hearing about, like, big celebrities that they're dead. It's a bad habit of mine. I just assume that the reason I stopped hearing about them is because they died. He reprised his speech in 2016, no scream, though. What's the point, then? Here's what I say. I think Howard Dean should get the cobwebs off. You know, get on his dancing shoes again and make a run for it. But this time, invest heavily in the Dean Scream. I think that should be the focal point of all of his campaign rallies. Build his whole brand around that and give it another crack. You could be his running mate. Yeah, I don't want to be his running mate. I'll be his campaign manager. I'll design his appearances. I'll have this man going on like Twitch rivals for games he doesn't even fucking play just to keep saying, yeah. Did Howard Dean in the next Smash tournament? Oh, yeah, have him casting Smash. But then wouldn't he become the breathtaking? No. I think it's a little different with the Dean Scream. I legitimately think he got done so dirty. I don't know why that scream ruined him. Like, I really don't, to be honest. I don't know why people got so upset at the Dean Scream back in 2004. He got done so fucking dirty with that. They sampled the Dean Scream in Breaking Bad. Oh, really? What? When? I don't remember that. In here?
We're going to South Dakota!
You got one part of that wrong.
You stream the raids? Yeah, chat's welcome to join too, as long as you're good.
This is not meth.
Was that actually in the show? Wait, what? That... No shot. This has to be a meme, right? Why? Like, that doesn't even fit here. Nah, no shot. That's definitely just like a meme. Find another clip. Good idea. No way! What? Why is that even there? No one's even talking about it. What the fuck is the... What? It wasn't... That had to just be there as a joke. What the fuck? Yeah, it had to just be like a little joke with the crew. Yeah, I mean, it adds fucking nothing to the scene at all. Like, it's just a random sound effect. It's like the whip cracks in Johnny Test. They must have just, like, been, like, laughing about this and threw it in. Alright, all power to him then. I wonder how many other times the Dean Scream has been slid into movies and shows. Have you seen the insurance scam? People who literally jump in front of moving cars and nearly die just to scam people? Well, that's as old as time, man. Yeah, that one, I've known about that for years and years and years. That is an ancient scam. The good old Saul Goodman. Yeah, but with like really awful actors. Almost all of those insurance scams are so bad. Like, it is like the least effort imaginable. Let's see if there's any I recognize off just the thumbnail.
Here we have a rich one. Oh, no, that was a tricky move. Looks like you're overcompensating for something with that wing.
Thanks, resub Fabe and Aurelian and Salad.
Hear. Oh, how dare they? That was so unprofessional.
Oh, God.
Guys, where is the police brutality when you actually need it, you know? Whoa.
I've seen this one. That one I've seen. Yeah.
So, go back over there, sit down and...
I know that one. That one's old. This one's old as shit.
Alright, let's see here. Oh, hello.
What the fuck? What a technique. Wait, what the fuck? That actually probably like broke his whole ass bone. He like actually went for like a full-blown drop kick. I haven't seen that one. That's kind of hype. He got kind of high too off that.
Oh, hello.
Like, that's not a bad vertical leap at all. Good shit. Yeah, got the double leg drop kick. Do these type of scams actually work? I have to imagine at like a very small level, like 1 or 2 times it'll work. But 9 times out of 10, no. This is the Prime Chester. That's why you want a dash cam. Yeah, dash cams are super important. But even if you don't have a dash cam, there's just cameras everywhere now. So like you'll have a camera at pretty much every intersection or pretty much everywhere in general. Even like nearby buildings will have cameras that you can just use during one of these cases. There's a Prime Chris. So it probably doesn't work often. How do you get the footage? Well, since it becomes an insurance issue, your insurance probably subpoenas the businesses for the footage. You won't get the footage? I mean, what do you mean? This right here is clearly not from this guy's dash cam. Like, there's plenty of examples, like, nearby locations, like, since it's an insurance thing, they probably aren't going to just let it go. Thanks to 5 gift subs, Lethargic. Appreciate it, Lethargic. There is sub Valo and Dame.
There's some brake checking going on here. And that is why you always have to have a dash cam, just in case you come across some of these dingleberries doing these stupid stunts. But anyways, let's see how this one will end. Come on now.
I prefer the like on foot ones better.
Is always the answer. Wise words, Jeremy Clarkson. Wise words. Whoa. Wee.
Oh fuck! Oh god.
This guy is a train wreck.
Jesus Christ! Yeah, this guy's like a zombie.
Unfortunately so. Yeah, not too proud of this guy. Not
cool haircut though. God damn. What is that? It's It's like a chocolate smudge on bath salts, probably. He's on that K2.
Alright, let's see what's going on here.
I think they resub, or they give sub twin.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Break, break, break! Don't let him win! Don't let him win. Yes! Take the L and do a walk of shame. And why are you running? Why are you running?
But yeah, it's very common. Insurance fraud is a very common scam attempt. It just isn't effective, usually, ever. There has to be someone that has tried to master this. I don't think so. I imagine you only ever try it once. Like when the desperation is overwhelming, you try it once, and I imagine you probably get like seriously injured going for it. Like in the cases where it actually isn't caught on dash cam is what I'm talking about. And then you still lose in the end. Thanks to the resub, Dickley, LD, Machina, Strudio, Arrow, Grilled Cheese, and Chaka. They're serial insurance scammers? Like famous ones? Do you think people have died trying to do a scam like this? Oh, absolutely. Pretty common scam to reverse into someone because rear driver is always at fault unless there is footage it's impossible to prove. Yeah, brake checking. Well, I guess driving in reverse is like the upgraded level of brake checking, but yeah. Thanks to resub Megap. I just have to wonder if it's ever really worth it. Like, I just can't imagine as the insurance scammer you get much out of it. Because you still have to pay fees as well. Like, just to, like, make the fight against the insurance. Like, I just can't imagine you get more than, like, pocket change from one of those cases. Easier than a job, though? Not really. It's a one-time payment that you have to fight for months. When I got into an accident back in, like, 2012, it was a low-speed accident, and the lady sued faking an injury. She had to spend thousands upon thousands of dollars going to a corrupt doctor multiple times in order to sign off on, like, here's her injury. And then by the end of it, like, the case wrapped up as, like, a $10,000 settlement or something. And she probably spent more than that just getting all the paperwork together and then visiting the doctor so many times. Like, you just... I mean, my insurance rate went up, so if it was a fuck you to me, she succeeded there, but, like, she didn't profit, like, at all. Well, it was a very low-speed accident, like, at like, a stop. And I talked to her for, like, 2 hours, and she was joking around. She even called her boyfriend up to come over to hang out. Like, she was totally fine. That she had no injuries whatsoever. And then she even did the classic, like, neck brace thing. What was the thought process behind any of that? Bro, have you never heard of ambulance chasers? Man, am I just that old? Ambulance chasers are like a thing. Just going for a paycheck off of fake injuries and shit? It just sounds so dumb. It is so dumb. Again, like, I just can't imagine you get anything out of it. You usually spend more chasing it than you do when you get a payment or a settlement. Just doesn't make any sense. Aren't ambulance chasers the lawyers who go after those cases? Yeah, but the whole thing is called ambulance chasing. So the people that fake it and the lawyers that pursue it. Not true, you don't spend anything. The doctors and lawyers are usually in on it and split it 3 ways. I don't know all the details of that, but using my case for an example, let's say they did split that $10K 3 ways. She did still have to fight my insurance. Or like herself. Like not even like the lawyer. So she did still have to spend in resources in order to even battle. And if it was getting split 3 ways, that's even less than she gets trickled down. A friend of mine had a corrupt doctor. He didn't even have to go to PT. He signed off on it and got a free 3K from doing something similar. I don't doubt like all that's like accurate. The doctor she went to apparently was known to the insurance company as like a quack who does this shit regularly. You finished Slippin' Jimmy. No, man, I'm not a fucking idiot. Why would I have watched Slippin' Jimmy? You're talking about the cartoon, right? This is apparently a disaster. Like an absolute disaster. I also hate the art style. I can't stand this style. What is this? This was a Better Call Saul spinoff. And man, what a piece of shit. I watched the trailer and that's all I needed to see. Looks like Big Mouth. Yeah, everything is starting to look like Big Mouth. It's the cheapest and fastest animation. So everything's going that way, and it's really frustrating. You sound like Martin Scorsese talking about Marvel. Hey, I will die on that hill. I think Big Mouth and all shows like Big Mouth are the worst thing to ever happen to animation. They're not only extremely ugly, they're extremely fucking lazy, and they are unwatchably bad. I will scream that from the mountaintops. BoJack's good though. I would what a disservice to BoJack. You really think BoJack looks at all like this? I don't think so. I don't think it's even close. BoJack looks terrible. Okay, you can talk about like the prettiness of its art style, that's fine, but to compare it to like the Big Mouth style, I think is very dishonest. For BoJack in particular, I think the griminess of its art style like helps complement the tone of the show, but that's just me. You can find it ugly all you want, that's totally a fine, fair critique, but to compare it to like Big Mouth style, I think is just wrong. Who is Slippin' Jimmy even for? That's what I said when we first watched this. Like, it's not like kids are super into Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, so I don't think it's going to be geared at kids, but it also has a very childlike tone to it. Like, it's not like an adult animation, it's very childish. So, like, I don't know who the audience was. Looks like it aired on Quibi. Any reference to Quibi gets at least a little bit of a nod from me. Shit's a deep cut. The fuck is Quibi? It's so beautiful seeing no one remember Quibi. This only existed... We watched the whole video on it, but I think this only existed for like a year. If that. And it got like billions of dollars pumped into it, and they had so many big celebrity names attached to it. It was basically supposed to be a platform where it had like shorter form content from celebrities, but with a production value of like a full movie. So they had one thing on Quibi with, was it Chris Hemsworth? It's because of COVID that it flopped. Oh, that's some cope. Were you one of the shareholders or something? No, this shit was dead on arrival, really. There was no interest from, like, the majority of people. It was just kind of like a misguided platform that didn't really know what its niche would be or what its audience wanted. I'm sure COVID didn't help, but I don't think that's the sole reason for its downfall. Wouldn't COVID have helped? No, because, like I said, their whole thing was like big quality, like high quality, expensive productions, like vertical, short form productions. And since COVID was shutting down productions, they couldn't pump those out. So COVID wouldn't have helped them with creating content. So that would have absolutely been a bit of a hindrance, I imagine. Made a platform for a product no one is interested in. Yep, that was kind of just a big issue. Like, who the fuck wants to see a 30-minute Liam Hemsworth vertical video movie? Like, is this one of those things where it's, like, no, there's no real audience for it? The FBI flamed him with science. Oh, did I read that? Flamed him with science. Did you mean framed? What the fuck does that mean? FBI flamed him with science. Like, they just insulted him in, like, alt chat? Oh, it was framed?
Imagine the horror of being arrested in connection to a crime the entire world is reading about on the basis of irrefutable fingerprint evidence that you know you didn't commit.
I'd be pissed.
How do you defend yourself against a century of science and math that just aren't wrong? And how can
I just say they're wrong this time?
You're up against the FBI and your own fingerprint expert says your fingerprints are a match.
The first arrest of an American in connection with the Madrid train bombings. What led the FBI to Portland, Oregon? Supporters of the man say agents are on the wrong track.
I've never heard of this.
They call it 11M. On March 11th, 2004, just 3 days before Spain's general elections, explosions ripped through trains in Madrid.
I didn't think there would be, Toss. I know this channel well.
People were killed and about 2,000 were injured. Europe hadn't experienced an attack on that scale in decades, and it came in the wake of 9/11 and at the peak of the global war on terror, a match to latent fingerprint 17. And in May, Brandon Mayfield, a U.S. Army veteran and family law attorney who frequently worked with low-income clients in Portland, Oregon, took the blame.
Fucking rough, Brandon.
5,403 miles away from a crime become its prime suspect. To understand what went wrong here, we need to go all the way back to Darwin. Throughout the 1800s, scientists advanced the notion that
this was all set up by Charles Darwin.
Human fingertips, toes, and palms were unique to each human, and they could be used as a proof of one's identity, like a built-in biological signature. Darwin was a bit too old to undertake a real analysis, so he passed it on to his cousin, Francis Galton, whose many accomplishments included identifying the statistical regression to the mean and inventing a physical board to demonstrate it that we now see on game shows. The science around identification flourished, and by the beginning of the 20th century, it had become one of the best ways to pinpoint criminals. A measurement of physical factors including head length, head breadth, length of middle finger, length of the left foot, eye color, and hair color.
That seems effective, to be honest.
Values for each, Bertillon claimed
Makes sense to me.
Person would have a unique combination of data. Except it wasn't all that unique, since so many physical attributes correlate with one another. Like, most tall people also have long arms. You don't find many 5'3" men with 7-foot wingspans. Fingerprints were much more accurate, and Bertillon developed a system of 16 identifiable markers that remained standard for over a century. Starting in 1924, the US government began compiling and cataloging fingerprints, and by 2004 they had about 200 million on file.
That's pretty good.
The scalar quantization algorithm was employed to compress the 500 pixel per inch images down to a file size of just 500 kilobytes, which meant easier storage, quicker access, and smoother online transfers globally. Like to Spain.
These fuckers have mine because my parents are narcs.
Since Francis Galton's forgotten warning that a complex pattern like fingerprints is capable of suggesting various readings, as the figuring on a wallpaper may suggest a variety of forms and faces to those who have such fancies. Even though the prints sent from Spain were low quality, an FBI examiner signed an affidavit stating that the FBI lab stands by their conclusion of a 100% positive identification.
Couldn't they just check if he ever left the country?
Up to his arrest, Brandon felt like he was being watched, because he was literally being watched. FBI documents show that as soon as Brandon's fingerprints popped as a potential match, he was immediately under 24-hour FBI surveillance, including phone and digital monitoring. He also suspected break-ins at his home and in his office.
I don't remember what it is now. It's like an SUV kind of thing.
Broken into. They were convinced Mayfield was involved. Here's a question. If fingerprints are so foolproof, why was an innocent man harassed by the government and detained for weeks as he wondered why they thought he was connected to a crime on another continent? British authorities actually knew Mayfield's print wasn't a match before the FBI detained him. They communicated a result of negativo after their own fingerprint experts found too few points matching in the prints. So what did the FBI do? The FBI flew to Madrid and told them they were wrong.
That's a power move.
They
went in person to say he was wrong.
11M,
I respect that.
He represented a man accused of involvement in a terror plot in Oregon. The more they looked into his life, the more circumstantial evidence they found that suggested Mayfield had the means and motive to play a role in the attack. And that's actually the punchline to a joke about a lying Texas sharpshooter.
Thanks
The joke's about a man
Grego.
who shoots at the side of a barn and then draws a target around a cluster of bullet holes to suggest he's actually a great shooter. When that's done with data, it's called the multiple comparisons problem. When we falsely perceive connections in our heads, it's apophenia. And when you're fitting evidence
This is
to a
so
predetermined
interesting.
conclusion, that has a name too. Psychologist Peter Wason coined the term
He's a tier 1
confirmation
copter in the
bias
prime straw.
to describe one's tendency to focus on evidence that supports their beliefs and to ignore or reject evidence that contradicts it. Basically, it's cherry-picking the truth, and it almost guarantees you'll find exactly what you're looking for, even if that isn't reality. So, what was the reality?
He actually did it. That'd be the plot twist. Everything that was wrong, they got everything wrong, except the fact that he was the one.
Admitted that Mayfield was actually one of 20 potential matches to the LF-17 fingerprint. Once they looked into Mayfield's life and found details that supported their suspicions, he became the prime suspect. Because he served in the military, he probably had the knowledge to be involved. And since he'd converted to Islam, he checked almost every box on the FBI's profile list. And when they searched Mayfield's house, evidence was seized from his residence, including what the FBI called Spanish documents. They turned out to be his son's Spanish homework. Okay, but why did Mayfield's own defense...
But what if the Spanish homework was about how to attack a train?
...were a match? They both claimed there was an unusual similarity between the two prints, with the Office of the Inspector General noting that they considered the coincidence to be, quote, extraordinarily rare. The FBI deliberately manipulated their conclusions by ignoring that the LF-17 print was only a slight match with Mayfield's, and then they focused on evidence that supported Mayfield's guilt and ignored the parts that didn't. It was hard to find a suspect given that there was no video evidence, hardly any photography, and primitive forensics at best. It would be generations before we could begin to collect and process things like...
Why don't we just ask him if he did it?
The FBI didn't have...
Rely on the honor code.
They actually had too much. They knew every little detail about Brandon Mayfield's life, from his browser history to what was in his garbage. The sheer volume of information made it easy for them to find exactly what they were looking for and only what they were looking for. Here's an example of how that data and knowledge gap quickly goes wrong. Swedish power lines. In 1992, Swedish researchers concluded a 25-year longitudinal study to determine whether living near high-voltage power lines made people sick. They studied the rates of over 800 different illnesses and found that childhood leukemia was 4 times more common near power lines. Their data wasn't wrong. The problem was, by measuring so many variables, they basically guaranteed that at least one of them would be a weird statistical outlier, and then they used it as proof of a cause and effect relationship.
That's always going to be the case now, though. Everything does this. Literally every belief, every study, everything has that same effect.
Most of them will form a scattered pile right under where I dumped them, but
quite literally
you know
everything.
That 1 or 2 of them are going to fly off my table, bounce on the carpet, and lodge themselves under a filing cabinet 10 feet away. Why? They're outliers. They had so much information about that suspect, all so easily available digitally, that they could find information that perfectly fit their profile. They dismissed the high volume of exculpatory data, like whether Brandon Mayfield was even in Europe before 11M. He wasn't. His passport had expired years ago, but the FBI claimed that meant Mayfield must have traveled under another identity. For them, the absence of proof was proof. Mayfield was detained for 2 weeks as a material
so you could never
not
lose.
Arrested as an actual suspect, since holding him as a material witness required far less evidence. The FBI kept collecting information they thought proved Mayfield's guilt, but everything came crashing down when Spanish authorities announced that they found the person who was actually involved in 11M. They matched the LF-17 print to those of an Algerian terrorist, and they were right. The FBI experts...
No, the FBI was right. They even flew there to say they were wrong.
Mayfield was released immediately, and then the questions began. As the American Civil Liberties Union and
I think the FBI is overrated. Like, do they do anything?
For having wrongly profiled
anything at all?
The FBI analyzed...
That's a genuine question. Because, like, take, for example, Nicholas Cruz, the school shooter. Apparently the FBI knew that it was going to happen. They had so much information, like, this guy is probably going to do this. It's most likely going to happen. They even had a general idea of when it might happen, and they still let it happen. And then also there was that gymnast. I forgot her name, but she like reported like an overwhelming amount of proof about some Olympic guy diddling people or whatever. I don't remember the story. And they didn't do anything. They didn't do a single fucking thing at all. Like, so do they do anything? Has there ever been a case where the FBI's actually done fucking anything? Larry Nazar. Was that the gymnast one? They shoot dogs. Do they? They have a reputation for shooting dogs? This is Prime Blue. They shot JFK. We're getting a little deep in the weeds of things now, I think. So far, almost no one has given me any case where the FBI had like a triumphant victory and stopped something bad from happening before it happened, or even did anything to solve a problem. They saved James Bond. Alright. Why are you asking Twitch chat? I don't know, I just feel like when it comes to law enforcement, like they're usually very open when they do something good, right? Because they want it to be a good public relations moment. So you'll hear all the time about like some really uplifting stories of like officers and stuff helping out their community from time to time, or doing some good things. And I imagine it'd be the same with the FBI, but I never hear shit. Like there's never been a time where there's a headline like, FBI just stopped Hitler version 2 from rising to power. Like I haven't heard them do anything right ever. But I guess there's a chance that they do everything behind closed doors. I guess. I don't know. All I ever hear is about how incompetent they are. So I have no fucking clue, to be honest. They stopped a school shooting in Brazil, did they? Well, here's a little something, it seems. They arrested a dozen people to hopefully stop something? I'll just take your word for it. I assume they have to do something right occasionally.
What went wrong internally. They laid part of the
that would have been the CIA because the FBI can't act outside U.S. borders.
Original digital image of LF-17, but a panel of international fingerprint experts suggested that the FBI had far too much confidence in the integrated automated fingerprint identification system, which is the largest biometric database in the world, and let the pressure of a high-profile case determine how they viewed the evidence and what evidence they collected at all. Mayfield's case led to lawsuits about potential misuse and constitutionality of the Patriot Act, a $2 million judgment in his favor.
Hey, not bad.
A formal apology from the
2 weeks in jail for $2 million? Kind of worth.
Mayfield went back to practicing law. Nearly 2 decades after Mayfield's unconscionable injustice, we have even more data and information about everything and about everyone. It's amazing.
The FBI caught the Unabomber, did they?
How quickly we can know it. Everything
I thought he was caught by a tip.
Records to finding a gem mint Charizard is way faster than it used to be, and usually more accurate. That's generally a good thing, but sometimes all that information is a problem.
Yeah, right. His brother turned him in. The FBI may have like apprehended him, but they never caught him. It was his fucking brother that turned him in. The FBI got handed a W. His brother could have turned him into the goddamn postman at that point.
We can make good data bad, and it's getting even more difficult to get it right. Mayfield's case highlights the complex relationship between the objectivity of science and math and the fallibility of the human mind. As we advance, we find more ways to be right, and that also means more ways to be wrong.
True.
The not quite 100% reliability of fingerprint analysis may have initially failed Brandon Mayfield.
I always felt like fingerprints weren't that reliable. But they do seem pretty solid
in a jail cell.
Even with this fluke.
Sometimes the math and science are right. And as always, thanks for watching.
Nice. That's a story I'd never heard about before. That was an interesting one. The FBI tried to have sex with me. What are you talking about, man? I love Peter Popoff. Peter Popoff is one of the greatest con mans of our time. Well, I guess greatest is the wrong word. Most shameless. He sold actual sink water for a lot of money. Called it a miracle water cure. When the money's that easy. People love to get scammed. Jesus, well, he is fucking grooving. Peter Popoff taught him how to dance.
Everything you say in the those letters is to the team from the Holy Ghost. You say, is that gonna happen?
Peter Popoff looks like the guy from the Wet Bandits in Home Alone. I forgot his name. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name.
I know God is real. I know what he can do. Every time I go to court, they throw it out. They deny it. So therefore they haven't been able
What is this? What is this text here?
hurting people.
A lot of people
Joe Pesci, thank you. Fuck, Jesus Christ. This isn't really Peter Popoff centric though. It's just kind of highlights of his church. Wow, this just says Peter Popoff YouTube, and it's 7 million views from Peter Popoff. He's killing it.
God's will for us has always been to be in health and to prosper. And he's using the miracle spring water to do just that.
There it is.
I sent for the miracle spring water, and I want to let you know
I actually had some of this.
$50,000 debt cancellation.
Someone sent me this in the P.O. box once. Changed my life.
Fibromyalgia, you name it, God delivered me from it. Your free packet of miracle spring water.
Miracle spring water!
No obligation.
Whee! Let's go! Miracle spring water!
Now, I'll send you your miracle spring water absolutely free without any obligation. Your next...
Also, you'll notice he just stole the Super Smash Bros. Emblem. Oh, can you even see that on stream? Oh, yeah, you can. Which I respect. He's got good taste. Look at all the likes. Yeah, everyone loved it. I mean, you know, you won't find anything negative about it, I'll tell you that much. This was universally loved. How do people fall for that? Man, go on Twitter and you really have to ask yourself that question. Look at NFTs. NFTs are a modern day miracle spring water. But sometimes people make money off of them because of other people buying the miracle spring water. It's not a mystery why people fall for this shit. What are you talking about? People just like to believe in things. It's that simple. They choose to believe in things and refuse to hear anything that goes against it. My friend used to work for Popoff. Sending people holy water. He said it was really sad. Your friend had a dream job. Oh, voice crack. Your friend had a dream job. You had to touch Peter Popoff's miracle spring water? Have you seen the video on Killdozer yet? I watched that years ago. I actually watched that like once every couple years at least. Marv Haymeyer, I think his name was. One of the most interesting rampages I think we've ever seen. Dude got fed up with the city council. So he grabbed his bulldozer, strapped concrete to it, and created an armored building-destroying vehicle and took it on a joyride. Fucking Marv. And then as he was... It actually got kind of whacked. God, people cover this all the time.
This is tape. This is when we first arrived on scene.
Yeah.
Officers standing on a hill above this earth mover turned tank were firing some pretty heavy arms at him, trying to find a weak spot, trying to find some way to immobilize. This man was now on the east side of Granby in what's called an independent propane company yard.
So it got really wacky.
Came out the other. This was these pictures.
Another guy got in some heavy construction equipment to battle him. They had a little standoff.
About an hour into the rampage.
I'm not gonna play the whole thing. I recently rewatched it.
Didn't matter what police officers did with the rifles and such. And
no one died, right? Marv did. He killed himself. No one was even hurt besides Marv.
Was just no match for the cat there, the caterpillar turned tank.
Yeah, so he just steamrolled buildings and cars. And then this is where it all went south. Flew a little too close to the sun. So what happened is when he was crashing through that building, the ground gave out under the Killdozer. So I believe, if I remember correctly, one of the tracks went like through the basement. So then it just got completely stuck and broke down. And then Marv took his own life. It took authorities a couple hours to break through the bulletproof plating. As far as rampages go, you can't really do better than Marv. He fucking strapped plating onto a goddamn bulldozer in order to just destroy buildings because the city council made him mad. Fucking maniac. Look up, women are born, men are made, red pill. Jesus Christ, what the fuck is that title? Oh, what an insult to Samurai Jack to be used like this.
Talking about men and women and value, okay? Speak this PC bullshit. I'm gonna tell you the real.
You're telling me he filmed this in 2020 and posted it mid-2021? Was he just like anxious about it the whole time? Like, yeah, I really spoke my mind. And he had to like hype himself up. Like, all right, it's fucking time. I'm ready to post it. Let the world see. Sat on it for 6 months.
And I need to call the cops for some reason. There's, you know, somebody's attacking me or something. I'm hoping that the cop that shows up is a man, if I'm keeping it real. And I think we all feel the same way.
Okay.
It's just nobody wants to say it. Nobody has the balls to say what I'm saying. Because
he's really going in.
PC mob, they come after you and they talk shit. I don't give a fuck. Money, status, and yes, to some extent.
Man, getting to this point has to be fucking miserable. Oh, fuck. I think it was a 5 gift subs lemon. Jesus. He tried his best to look like almost alpha, so even put on like a little gold chain too. This is rough. This poor guy's sad. He's not single. This man's slaying, no doubt. I mean, look at him. How could he not be?
You can learn jujitsu. You could go lift to get bigger.
Why haven't you done any of these things?
You can become a rapper. You can produce beats. You can do anything you fucking want to do. Women don't have to do shit.
Women don't have goals.
Like,
only men do.
Come out of the womb. Congrats. You have a pussy. You have automatic value. For a man, it's not that way. We gotta work for this shit. We have to earn our fucking way. Woman, you better be beautiful. Okay, that would be the #1 requirement. You know?
I mean, I think also magic would have something to do with it. I would think. I don't. Far be it from me to question this man's authority, though. This guy's clearly the expert. He's a tier 1 soup. Oh, I actually remember this story. I haven't seen his video on it, but I remember this was on Reddit. There was a random TikTok that was taken, well, at least this story, I guess the whole thing might not be connected. A random TikTok taken of a girl with like a black eye and shit. And then Redditors actually were the ones that maybe potentially connected her to a missing persons case. I don't remember the result. I don't know if it actually turned out to be true or not, but yeah, I guess we'll check it out, sure.
This 14-year-old girl is accused of stabbing her sister to death.
Exit Tier 1 Sam, Tier 1 Pringles, and the resub Brian, and the Prime Brad, Airman, and WQ, and Tier 1 Iron Man. Yeah, someone mentioned the Andrew files earlier.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about the darkest TikTok Iceberg. Now this is a sequel to my darkest YouTube Iceberg, but this video is a lot more gruesome. Reason being, because in the YouTube Iceberg, we talked about just creepy videos on the website. Now for this TikTok Iceberg, we're going to talk about real world events. In case you guys don't know how an iceberg works, which you should by now, honestly, it's a list that starts at the tip and ends up going all the way down to the dark abyss. As we go down, we begin covering topics that not the general audience knows about, but we're actually switching it up for this video. We're not doing it from most known to least known. We're doing it from most tame to most gruesome. This video gets really, really, really dark, and it sounds so ironic because it's TikTok, but you guys would be
TikTok's a fucked platform.
Also, I made this list. Here is the list. If anyone else wants to make a video on it, just make sure to credit me, and you can add on, remove, I don't care, but I made this list because this didn't really exist before. I hope you guys watch the whole thing. By the way, make sure to follow me on Instagram and subscribe to the channel if you are not already. Actually, don't subscribe yet. I'll earn your subscription by the end of this video.
Hey.
Without further ado, let's head on to the iceberg. The tip of the iceberg. Botting accounts. Like most social media, TikTok has
underwhelming.
Users that want followers can easily look
Everyone
up
knows
how to buy
TikTok's
TikTok
botted
followers
to fuck.
on Google and be met instantly with millions of results. Most being shady websites.
I saw some wild stories on that iceberg though.
Not only can you buy followers, but you can buy views, likes, and even comments. I don't know how lame you have to be to do that stuff.
Hey, fun fact. That's how Travis Scott started. Travis Scott bought all of his followers on SoundCloud when he started. His manager came out and said that Travis Scott, paid him to set up a bot farm for his SoundCloud engagements, and then he was able to pitch that manufactured success to a record label. So yeah, that shit really works.
Jail talk is a term used for inmates which have their cellular devices with them and make TikToks. These videos are for the most part innocent and wholesome, with the comment section usually joking about how they can escape. They're not hurting anybody, but there is a reason why they are in jail in the first place, which is why they are on this list at the tip of the iceberg. Fetishization of murderers. TikTok is a place for anyone with any interest.
That was big on Tumblr.
Some people are interested in murderers. I mean, my whole channel is dedicated to morbid topics. But some people, mainly young teens, push the boundary a little when they begin romanticizing these murderers. Take Cameron Herron, for example. In April of this year, this 21-year-old man was sentenced to a total of 24 years in prison for killing a 24-year-old mom and her baby during an illegal street race. Yet people on TikTok were begging for his freedom because he is quote-unquote cute. With dedicated fan edits, comments like, chances should be given and he deserves it, and he is innocent, please let him go, or justice for him.
They still exist. I see them on Twitter all the time.
Writing these comments have no real sense of murder and have no idea how this affects the family. Hey Emily, just because you sat through the entirety of true crime on Netflix doesn't mean you have a special connection with murderers. It's not only male murderers that are simped for, though. There's also the case of Isabella Guzman, who in 2013 was the age 18 and stabbed her mother 151 times, killing her. TikTok teens began requesting for her freedom because 1, they just thought she was cool, and 2, people said that the only reason she killed her mom was due to being abused, though that was never proven, so people were just going off word of mouth. Fetishization of school shooters. Just like young teens simp for murderers, they also simp for school shooters. Most notably, Devin Erickson, which we actually talked about on this channel back in March.
Who the fuck is that?
That's exactly what you'd expect. Fan edits, comments saying he's hot, and I wouldn't doubt some asking for his freedom. Speaking of romanticizing school shooters, I remember FTP made a couple shirts referencing
who the fuck was that? I've never heard of that guy. He was a school shooter? Dude straight up had like cotton candy hair. I guess it's good that I have no idea that dude's name. But yeah, no, I had no clue. I've never seen that guy before in my fucking life.
Columbine school shooters, Eric and Dylan. And in one shirt, there's a print of both of them after they committed. I don't know who started this trend of thinking school shooters are people you should idolize, because they're not. They're shit humans that took away lives of innocent people.
Yep.
Hey guys, I just want to take a few moments out of this video to talk about today's sponsor, Atlas VPN. They actually sponsored the last Iceberg video.
Nice.
Buying rare usernames. Rare usernames are exactly that. Usernames that are 3 to 4 letters each, or usernames that are a single word or name. Twitter and Instagram also have these communities which sell and buy rare usernames. These purchases take place outside of the app on forums and sell for upwards of $4,500. Usually these purchases are made using cryptocurrency, but at the end of the day, it is up for the people within the deal to decide. Fake TikTok login sites.
I haven't heard of that one,
This is a scam that aims to steal your account by collecting your username and password. Scammers do this by sending you a fake login site that looks just like the real TikTok website, except the only difference is the URL. The URL should be tiktok.com, but instead is something like tiktoklogin.site. Once putting your information in, you'll be met with a fake 404 error screen. The Surface. Faking disabilities. There was an instance
this was big,
this girl
still
on TikTok
big.
did some detective work and found out that the account at Adopted and Disabled Child was actually a guy pretending to be disabled. For what? I'm assuming for clout and then collecting donations afterwards. All credit to her because she actually found out that the quote-unquote disabled man in the video is a soccer player for a Norwegian football team.
What?
What goes on through your head to say, you know what? I should fake a disability today and post it on TikTok. Eventually, your friends and family will find out, and if not, then a random girl on TikTok will. Lopez brothers. Okay, I honestly don't want to waste my breath on these fucking idiots, so I'm gonna make this one really quick. Yes, they are both guilty of soliciting minors. Yes, there is proof.
She's 14. And you are how old?
Who the fuck are they? I've never heard of them.
23.
Yeah. You know what can happen to you?
I do.
You can end up in jail.
I do realize that.
Man, that video didn't really pop off. Let me take a peek. I bet they're doing just fine on TikTok. Honestly, it might even be good marketing on TikTok, so that way the little girls think they have a chance with them, I guess. Which they very well might. Tony Lopez. That's not Tony Lopez, that's an old man. Tony Lopez has 23 million followers, and he's doing real well. Posted a day ago. Let's go! He rated his attractiveness. Look at this. Nice. Yeah, no, that really, man. Him being outed as a pedophile apparently really, fuck, it really ruined him. Who was the other one? Andre Lopez? He probably took the brunt of it. 21 million followers. He's doing even better than his brother. Hey, look, he's doing a dance. Nice. See, that's the beauty of TikTok. No matter what you do, you can't be canceled on there. And you know why? Because kids don't care. Kids do not give a shit. These two could have literally executed a child on TikTok livestream, put a gun to his head, blew their fucking brains out, and then did a dance on their corpse. Kids would have forgiven them. Literal next day.
You end up in jail.
I do realize that.
And yes, for some reason, little girls still love them.
Oh, even mentions it, yeah.
Jarob. Jarob was a TikToker with 4 million followers. His content consisted of being politically correct and... yeah, that was it. His TikToks would get millions of views, and I'm sure you've seen him on your For You page at some point. Well, last month, multiple minors came out explaining that Jarob had groomed
I guess
them. One of them, the one that got the most views, was a boy by the name of DYLG16. This person goes on to explain that Jarob is a disgusting hypocrite and abuses his clout to groom and prey upon underage boys. He goes on to say that Joe asked for his Snapchat during a live stream, and that led to Joe being invited to Zoom calls with his friends. Joe would send him and his minor friends online BDSM tests and would ask to see their scores so he could see what their kinks were. He then personally invited the 16-year-old minor to stay with him at a 1-bedroom Airbnb. He even offered to buy him alcohol. And if that wasn't damning enough, Jarob ended up deleting his account shortly after these allegations came out. Bro, if there's one thing I don't like, it's fucking groomers, bro. Get the fuck out of here. You're weird. You're weird. You're weird. Cartel TikTok.
To be fair, that dude probably wouldn't have recovered. I think you're probably right. The people that are fine and uncancelable on TikTok are like the dudes that are decent looking. This guy stood no chance. This guy was fucked the second he got outed as a child groomer. But yeah, the other ones are doing just fine for literally being outed by multiple people for preying on minors.
Weird. Cartel TikTok. Cartel TikTok is a series of TikToks that display the lavish lifestyle of the cartel, or, well, the bright side of it, if that's what you want to call it. All of the expensive cars, houses, jewelry, and money. There have also been some more violent ones of members shooting at rival gangs and the police. Apparently, I'm saying apparently because this is word of mouth, teenagers from the US were really intrigued by the lifestyle and asked if they could join the cartel. Some cartel members would respond and say yeah, and they would force these teenagers to smuggle drugs for them, I'm assuming into Mexico. As of now, TikTok has taken down any hashtags related to the cartel.
Damn. What a good way of recruiting.
Woman. Zombie Woman is the nickname given to a woman in distress recorded from a neighbor earlier this year in May in Seattle, Washington. Now, I've tried researching what actually is the story behind this video, but there isn't really a solid story. So, I'm just going to read you guys some popular theories. The first theory is that this woman is a victim of domestic abuse due to dyeing her hair pink and her boyfriend not liking it. Also forgot to mention that in that same theory, the boyfriend allegedly ripped her hair out due to not liking the pink. That's the most I could find for that one. The second theory is probably that this woman is just on some type of heavy drug like bath salts. The third theory is that this woman is a victim of human trafficking and she had escaped her abuser.
That is possible.
Someone said that she was holding a pseudo baby to cope with her real baby being killed. Again, these are just theories.
Man, that actually does look like a fucking scene from Martyrs, if any of you guys are unfortunate enough to have watched that movie. That movie's disturbing. This actually does look like a scene from that. So this was real? This wasn't like some theater promotion thing or something? Like some kids doing high school theater? Because the cops are actually here, so I'm guessing this was a real person. Damn, that is fucking sad. Martyrs isn't that bad? Bro, that movie hits hard. That movie, not just the gore shit they show. That movie, even its message is disturbing. The whole movie is about torturing women so they can get as close to death as possible, so hopefully they'd have an out-of-body experience and see what's on the other side. And to accomplish that, they torture the women, by literally, peeling all of their skin off, degloving their whole body. That movie's nutty. That movie is, really nutty.
Someone said that she was holding a pseudo baby to cope with her real baby being killed. Again, these are just theories. The body. Indian trend. Yes, you heard that right. I know I'm gonna censor a lot for this video. Hope you guys still watch. Before TikTok was banned in India, in the summer of 2020, a popular Indian user by the name of Muhibur Rahman and his friend filmed and uploaded a disturbing video where they duetted a woman's video. I'm assuming the woman's video was made to raise awareness of sexual abuse, but these two men used that as an opportunity to make it seem like they just got done using her. Another popular Indian influencer uploaded a similar video, but instead lip-synced to a song with the lyrics, "Only I have a right over your body." Eventually, women of India took to Twitter to report this new trend, and the chairperson of the National Commission for Women in India took note of this and managed to get TikTok to ban the trend. Holocaust challenge. Yo, I
remember this one.
Stuff I'm saying right
I remember
now.
that one.
This is real stuff that happened on TikTok. In August of 2020, a new trend began emerging in US TikTok. In this trend, teenagers would pretend to be Jews that had died during the Holocaust.
Yeah, that one was pretty fucking crazy.
Diane Saltzman, the director.
One thing I always found pretty interesting about this is, like, what is the thought process here? Like, so they died at Auschwitz and they went to heaven, and yet they're still, like, covered in dirt and, like, hurt and stuff, even while in heaven? Like, that's gotta suck. You go to heaven in the same state you left the world? Like, if you get hit by a fucking train or something, you just go to heaven in pieces? That'd be terrible. What a horrible, like, entrance.
Diane Saltzman, the director of Survivor Affairs at the U.S. Holocaust Museum, told Insider, imitating Holocaust experiences dishonors the memory of victims, is offensive to survivors, and trivializes the history. I don't know how fucking stupid you have to be to do this shit, bro. That's just weird and disrespectful. Fucking weirdo. I like that I could shit on these people and, like, there's no backlash because they all do stupid shit. Give me more ideas for Iceberg Part 2 for TikTok so I can shit on more people. Ronnie McNutt video.
This one, I remember this one too.
TikToks would be posted onto the app.
Fuck, this one was heavy.
Until the TikTok would then cut to a clip of a man shooting himself in the head with a rifle. Well, he actually shoots himself in the face, not like right here. I'm sure you guys have probably seen the video. These TikToks were disguised as your average dancing videos,
that
memes,
was a fucked up
K-pop
trend.
fan cams, and everything else, but were meant to traumatize kids on the app. In case you're wondering exactly who started making these videos, there is no lead, but I'm sure we can all assume it was some edgy teen who just wanted to make some kids' days that much worse. The man in the video is Ronnie McNutt, age 33. A friend of his named John Steen, who was a live viewer of the stream, confirmed that the rumor of Ronnie doing this, quote, because his girlfriend broke up with him, is entirely false. He explains that Ronnie did this due to suffering from PTSD and depression.
Oh, yeah, that one was super
TikTok
sad.
Beheading video. In the summer of
that
this
one was
year,
really fucking
a video
sad.
began circulating on TikTok that showed a little girl dancing and then cut to a video of someone getting beheaded. We're assuming it's the Mexican cartel because they are speaking Spanish in the video. Everyone assumed this person in the video to be her. Well, spoiler alert, it's not. They're two different people. It's just a random girl and it cuts to a Mexican cartel video. Like the Ronnie McNutt video, this spread like wildfire. I'm sure people would just post the video itself or like cut the clip into a normal TikTok and trick people into thinking they're watching a normal TikTok, and then it cuts to that clip. Anyway, like I was saying, the girl dancing and the person in the other video are not the same person. That person is a man by the name of Rodolfo Bellucci, which coincidentally has the same body type as the girl. If you're wondering how a tween girl and a grown man were mistaken to be the same person, well, almost all gore videos seem like they're filmed on a fucking Chromebook, so the best you'll get is 360p. Abyss, Cassie Compton. In January of 2021,
this one I remember from
video
Reddit.
posted on TikTok went viral due to showing a woman sitting in the backseat of a car with a black man sitting next to her. She had two black eyes and was slumped over staring at the camera, almost silently pleading for help. People compared this woman to Cassie Compton, a 15-year-old who disappeared from her home in Stuttgart, Arkansas on September 14th of 2014. Though, these were later found out to be two completely different people, and
it wasn't
the
right?
video was confirmed by family to be Haley Grace Phillips. She had been reported missing by a family member who saw the video.
It was right, though.
On her own account, had just left home due to a falling out with her father. So, you know, she didn't think she was missing. She just, like, left home. She went on to host a few Instagram live streams where in the first one, she says, "I don't know who this Cassie bitch is," which already gave her a negative look. And when asked about the black eyes, she explains that she had been jumped and robbed by two women when leaving the store. And the men in the car were friends of hers helping her track down the attackers. Many were still skeptical to if she was telling the truth or if her abusers were telling her.
So Reddit was almost right.
Though We have no idea what the actual truth is because she disabled her account and never gave the public any more details. Austin 13. Austin Morosky was a TikToker with many followers who was accused of raping his 5-year-old sister. Yup, you heard that right. So basically, there is no hard evidence that I could find to this case. It's all just word of mouth from people that went to high school with him. So the story goes that he allegedly raped his little sister of 5 years old when he was 9, and then was sent off to a juvenile detention center during high school. Yes, during high school, which is already weird as part of the story because to enter juvie, there's not like an age limit. You could be 6 and be in juvie, so theoretically, he should have gone to juvie right when he did it, not during high school. Or maybe the story is that the information got leaked while he was in high school. But again, this is all word of mouth. Anyway, people on TikTok started rushing to spread awareness about this guy. He eventually ended up releasing an apology.
Hey everybody, my name's Austin Morosky, and the reason I'm making this TikTok is to educate my followers, friends, and family. Regardless of the lack of knowledge,
he's reading it like a report.
Family, I, as a TikToker and a man, will continue to make my fans happy and entertained. I just want my true supporters to know that if you happen to get in the same scenario like myself, don't beat yourself up. Let this be a lesson to my followers and whoever's watching, that words will and can affect someone's life, along with the cyberbullying.
Which, by the way, is one of the worst apology videos I've seen.
What?
It's right up there with James Charles and David Dobrik. You'd expect them to be like, no, I did not rape my sister, or yes, guys, I did.
Holy
but
shit.
He just dodges the question. He acknowledges nothing. He tells his supporters that words can affect you and to keep your head up during hard times. He victimizes himself. I'm assuming this is why people think he's 100% guilty. Though we'll never really know because those juvenile records aren't available to the public since they're minors.
What
Lady
the fuck?
Cat Killer.
Wait, what the fuck? That was actually like his response? I imagine he's doing just fine on TikTok. He probably didn't even need to do that for his TikTok followers. They don't give a fuck. What was his name? Austin 13? He does not have a TikTok anymore. That's a first. Unless he changed his handle. He's the Prime Frog in the resub Oscar. Yeah, I typed it in right. The AWS. Yeah, I typed it in right. Oh, 316. Oh. Okay, hold on. Let me double check. No, still not. And it was Austin 13. Man, fuck you guys making me think I was wrong. Thanks for resub, AB. Yeah, it looks like he got banned.
In 2020, there was a person that would go on Omegle with the tag furry from
Stone Cold.
Oh,
you son of a bitch.
Skinned and burned cats, cat skulls, and other things of that nature. Even though this happened on Omegle, the quote-unquote lady would post on TikTok, which is why it's on this iceberg. If you were on TikTok at the time, you might remember the amount of people that were talking about this. Shout out to the Netflix documentary, Don't Fuck With Cats. I love that. I love that film. That was cool. It was never proven or not as to if she was the person on TikTok, considering many accounts were made due to getting banned. But whoever was on the account seemed to be trying to pull off the "you'll never catch me" scheme, which no, it was 2020, your ass is gonna get caught. And actually, law enforcement did get involved, and it is most likely that this person was tracked down and charged. Though we'll never have any confirmation because we don't know the cat killer's name, which means we can't look it up on public records.
I vaguely remember that. I didn't see the documentary,
One of the
though.
most recent situations from this entire iceberg is the case of Bethany Martin and her minor friend. On July 28th in San Antonio, Texas, this girl and her friend saw someone hanging from the railing of a drainage ditch. The 25-year-old man had just committed suicide, and instead of calling the police, well, one of the teens filmed the other one stealing his necklace. Yes, removing it from his lifeless body. To make matters even worse, they filmed it and posted it on
Full-blown
Snapchat.
Logan
I have
Paul.
no idea how stupid you have to be to film yourself committing a crime. I mean, because if you think about it, they could have gotten away with it, and I'm not condoning them getting away with it. But seriously, how stupid, like, just don't film
Holy
it. Again,
shit.
I'm not condoning what they did. Good that they got caught. I'm glad they were idiots and filmed it. But like, bro, y'all are stupid. When asked by the police why she stole the necklace, she says that it matched her fashion style. Honestly, I didn't expect any better
That's a
reasoning
good
from
point,
this girl.
actually.
The police returned the jewelry to the family. Bethany was arrested and charged with theft of a corpse. Her bond was set to $2,000, and she has since been released from jail. The minor was also charged with the same thing.
Thanks to Prime Reginald. How are they doing on TikTok? What was her name? What was it? Bethany what? Yeah, I'm sure if I type in how many people are actually fucking named Bethany in 2022, I'm sure it'll come up. Let's see. Is it Bethany Martin? Bethany what? Bethany 3160. I'm not falling for it twice. Okay, I guess it's this one then. No, it looks like she has also been banned. Man, maybe TikTok actually does sometimes take action. Then why not for the other, like, predators? Yeah, it looks like she is also off. Her name was Bethany Martin. Unless she's just not popping up when I search her. No, she's also gone. Thanks for the 5 gift subs, Jicho. Thank you for that, man. Thanks for the Prime Inzo and the gift sub Sakurai.
Abyss. Zachary Lathan.
Her account still exists. It's at 50K.
The TikToker who killed his neighbor for clout. Zachary Lathan did just that, though whether he did it for clout or not is unknown. Here is a rundown of the story. Zachary had been having problems with his neighbors due to driving recklessly in the neighborhood. At one point, he films a woman that's part of the family and calls her a Karen repeatedly. He then allegedly swerved his car into their son's bike while he's biking. Eventually, the family's son and father confront Zach by going to his house, and meanwhile, Zach's wife is recording everything. Yeah, the dude had a wife at the age of 18. Anyway, Zach ends up going ape mode and stabs William in the armpit, puncturing his lung, killing him. People say this was an attempt to gain TikTok clout since the wife was recording, but I personally think it's just a man with mental and anger issues not knowing limits. Also, the argument that he did it for clout is odd considering the dude he killed came up on his property first. You would think that he would go to the neighbor's house, kill him over there. But no, the people came up to his side, and I'm not defending again, that kid's a fucking idiot. But yeah, rest in peace to that man. Rest in peace. Joseph Jimenez.
I'm assuming that TikTok guy's in jail now.
Is this Joseph Jimenez movie theater shooting? This happened last month in California. Anthony Barajas, a 19-year-old TikToker with about 1 million followers, and his friend Riley Goodrich went out to watch The Forever Purge, where they were shot and killed by a 20-year-old man by the name of Joseph Dumbass Jimenez. A reporter actually conducted an interview with this person, so I'll give you guys some takeaways from that. The movie theater was mostly empty. There were only a total of 6 people, 3 of those being Riley, Jimenez, and Anthony. The other 3 were Jimenez's friends. Halfway during the movie, Jimenez went to go get something from his car, and he told his friends that he came back with a gun. In the article, it says that his friends left to the parking lot. I guess they were just like weird. They were just fucking scared. They went to the parking lot. Then they see Jimenez running to his car, getting in, and speeding off. The bodies of the 2 teens weren't found up until the cleaning crew came up, which is odd. Like, no one heard a gunshot, like 2 gunshots in the movie theater. Anyway,
I mean, it could have just sounded like the movie.
Execution style. So Jimenez went behind their seats, aimed his gun at the back of Anthony's head, and shot and killed him. When he killed Anthony, Riley reacted horrified, and then he shot her in the head as well. Riley died at the scene, and Anthony was on life support for a couple of days until eventually dying. When explaining why he did it, he says that voices were telling him that by killing both of those 2 teenagers, he would be saving the world.
Fuck, maybe, Jesus Christ, maybe that Reddit commenter really was real then. Fuck me, oh my god. What? Jesus Christ. Yeah, going out in public's scary, man. What's the name of that old song from Under Oath? It's dangerous business going out of your front door or something. The shit is super true. And it really feels like more and more people are becoming unhinged. I don't know what it is, but it just really feels like more often now than when I was growing up, people are becoming significantly more on edge and dangerous. Thanks to Tier 1 Dat Boy and the resub up down. It might just be like more access to information, but goddamn, this fucking scary.
Claire Miller is a 14-year-old girl that murdered her disabled sister, Helen, that had cerebral palsy, a disorder that affects a person's posture, muscles, and balance. We actually covered this topic on the channel when it happened back in February, and I also remember that this was an interesting case because there wasn't really like a reason. You know, there wasn't really a reason, so I'm gonna let my past self explain to you guys that. At 1 in the morning, the police got a phone call from Claire herself saying that she had just murdered her older sister. Her older sister, it was 19 years old and she was wheelchair bound, so she had a disability, but it doesn't really say what disability she had. So it says here that Claire hysterically called 911 and just admitted to murdering her sister, and when the police arrived, they noticed that she had tried washing the blood that was on her hands in the snow on the ground. So I guess there was just bloody snow everywhere. And they had found a knife inside of the older sister's neck. The name of the older sister was Helen Miller. I don't want to just like not mention her name. And since this happened in 1 in the morning, it says here that the parents were asleep. I don't know how you could sleep through a murder. You know, we don't know that many details, and I honestly don't really want to cover an update. They are charging her for murder as an adult. She's not being charged as a minor. She's being charged as a full adult. So she's gonna get these consequences, bro. She's probably gonna get like life in prison or 100+ years type stuff. It's obviously that this Claire girl has a mental disability. Like, no one just murders out of nowhere. Even in her mugshot, like, she looks like she's not fully there. Okay, cool. Let's head on to the next topic.
God damn.
Nicola Priest. This is by
I think as TikTok continues to grow, pretty much every criminal ever is going to be able to be traced back to a TikTok account. So literally every criminal from this point forward, I imagine, will be able to watch TikTok videos of them doing the Doja Cat dance or some shit at some point. Because it's just everyone has one now. So literally every single murderer is also going to be a TikToker by extension. That's a pretty wild future.
One of the worst things I'm going to talk about on the channel. So this woman from the UK named Nicola Priest would post TikToks mourning her dead daughter. Her daughter seemed to be like about 2, and I'm sure when people saw this on their For You page, they would, you know, leave loving comments like, "Oh no, you're strong, you're gonna be strong." Come to find out, this woman actually murdered her own kid and then went on TikTok post mourning her own daughter. People found this out because you can actually search her up on public records, and it says there that she murdered her kid. She only got 15 years in prison, which is so fucking weird. Why? So yeah, when that information came out, it flipped the story on its head. Now people see this woman as a demon because that's what she is. And if you go back and watch some of the videos, her account is still up, by the way. If you go back and watch some of the videos, it's so fucking creepy seeing, like, just no.
Why is her account still up?
Acting like she didn't fucking kill her own daughter.
What? What was her name? Nicola Priest. Let's see. How is she doing? No, it's down now. Okay, so it must have been up in August. It is down now. That's good news. So far, almost all of them have been. I'm very surprised. Usually they're not. Why just 15 years? I have no fucking clue. I have no idea. I imagine, if I had to take a guess, I would say it's probably the UK. Let's see, in fact. Mom who killed 3-year-old for interrupting her having sex posts... what? Posts apology to her parents. And yes, she was from Solihull, England. She made a fucking YouTube apology video for killing her 3-year-old daughter. She was having sex with her boyfriend and got interrupted. And so she killed her daughter. What was the thought process? It's not like she was going to go back to getting laid after committing a murder in front of the boyfriend. Oh shit, the boyfriend is also implicated in this. The vomiting was the result of the severe beating you were both responsible for inflicting on her. No doubt you irritated her by irritated by her crying, asking to be let out. It interrupted the two of you when you wanted to have sex. You lost your temper and you were joint participants in the assault. Holy shit. And they got 15 years. It's a fucking joke, man. That's a fucking joke. Thanks for resub, Justinian. Yeah, so they beat the kid to death. Yep, that should be life for both of them, I would say. And what's even wilder is she used it for clout on TikTok.
On TikTok, whether it be creeps paying little girls to message them or little girls going out of their way to show off their queefing skills. I'm not lying. You can't fucking believe I'm serious. There are so many grown, disgusting ass.
There's a queef trend on TikTok?
TikTok just looking for children. So the most I could say for this is just protect your children. All right, yeah, that was the Iceberg.
That was a lot of shit.
Let me know if you guys want a part 2. If you guys want a part 2, you guys are gonna have to let me know a lot more information. Let me know what I missed. Maybe there's some crazy topics that I missed, but let me know what you guys want to see.
There's a shart trend as well. Now that just sounds like good fun. No one's getting hurt in a shart. Damn. Yeah, that was a lot of shit I'd never even heard of. Thanks to the Prime Chicken Lay. Watch part 2. Maybe a different day. Let's save it. And there's a part 3. Jesus Christ. We'll save them. Give us... Yeah, Tub did post a new video. I'm pretty confident I'm going to know all of these. Let's see. Oh, wait, hold on. I don't want spoilers. All right.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be talking about YouTubers
you in the chat, Tub?
Their careers in seconds. There are
a
lot,
greens.
And I'd like to make this a series. Probably going to see a part 2 coming in the future. But there are a lot of OG YouTubers that I forgot existed, and I just remember... wow, they did something horrible. But I know I'm like Mr. Long Intro. I'm sorry about that. I'll make this one short.
Oh, you don't need to apologize for that.
It's that new music video coming out October 3rd. Yes, you guys finally don't have to listen to Cherry Soda on repeat anymore. I got you guys with a new music video, Spotify, Apple Music, all of that. Yeah, October 3rd. Be there for the live premiere. It'll be on this channel. It's gonna be so fun with the live chat and everything. I'm thinking November the EP will be out, and that EP will have music videos to every single song, and that'll be like a 30-minute video.
That's the way to do it. Music video per song.
You guys up, but let's get started with our list. Vitali ZD TV.
So Vitali, this guy fell on some fucking wild times. Pretty sure it was a crippling drug addiction, and then he snapped one day, jumped out of a moving vehicle, and beat a random woman. I'm going off memory here, but I'm almost positive that's what it was.
Vitaly Zodorovetsky, also known as Vitali ZD TV, was once
the Bang Bros guy, whatever it was.
Concepts at the time, such as Gold Digger pranks, Russian Hitman pranks, In the Hood pranks, and who could forget classics such as How to Get Girls to Kiss You, Getting Girls Panties,
yeah, the classics.
Can I Eat Your Booty? The channel now sits at 10 million subscribers and over 1 billion video views, though his recent uploads don't match that of a 10 million follower channel. So what happened? If we want to understand the fall of a man who was once getting a minimum of 20 million views per video, we have to go to the very beginning, before he was even a prankster on YouTube. Let's go back to when Vitali was 18 in 2010. A Russian friend of his called him up and told him he can make easy money if he just appeared in an adult video. Being broke and living with his mom and abusive stepfather, he took the chance. And that's when this infamous video was filmed. The video is a bang bus film where the girl picks up guys and fucks them in the van, though Vitali couldn't get hard, so it was an extremely awkward 12-minute video. Yes, I watched all of it. Yes, I was alone. Yes, I had lotion. The next year in 2011, Vitali would
that's an internet classic, by the way. I remember when that story broke. So Vitali used to be massive. Most of you probably don't remember him now, but he was absolutely massive for a time. And then one day, out of nowhere, someone recognized him in a Bang Bus video, posted it on Reddit, and it flew. That shit was huge news. Yeah, he basically did start the pranking meta. Well, the fake pranking meta, the one where it's like, gold digger prank. But he like paid all the actresses and shit. Yeah, he was the one that started that. Man pioneered that, trailblazed. Why couldn't he get hard? I don't know, nervous? I'm not his penis. I don't know why he couldn't get hard. I have no idea.
Uploading pranks to no avail. It wasn't until June 2nd, 2012 that he'd upload the Miami zombie attack prank, a video where Vitaly pretends to be on bath salts scaring the locals. This of course was a reference to the situation that occurred only a week prior where a man on bath salts bit off a homeless person's face. Kind of a weird thing to base your prank off of, but hey, it was 2012 and I understand it was a different time. The video gained 10 million views in a week and gained Vitaly 70,000 subscribers. This even caught the attention from Daniel Tosh from Tosh.
Oh my god, Tosh.0.
Oh, and not to mention CNN.
So, a guy in Miami, a prankster, decides to go out, dress up as a zombie and covered in blood, and he starts running around chasing people. Look what he does to this guy. Like, you can see the front of his shirt when he turns. He's covered in blood, and he chases this poor guy here and numerous people, and they're rolling on it, right? It's a prank, so he chases people around, scaring the absolute.
He's a 5 gift subs.
He rode the momentum and kept making prank videos and started becoming the face of YouTube pranks, along with FouseyTube, Roman Atwood, Dennis Rohde, and several others. Saying Vitaly got into a lot of controversies is an understatement, but I'll tell you guys the biggest ones. In 2014, Vitaly was arrested for streaking the field during the 2014 World Cup final in Brazil. He had natural born prankster across his chest.
Yeah, Remy Galliard was really kind of the OG. Remy Gallard, I don't remember.
2016, he was arrested for trespassing after climbing the Hollywood sign.
Back to our breaking news. A man believed to be a YouTube prankster has climbed the Hollywood sign.
Tim Lynn monitoring the situation overhead in Sky 5. Tim.
He had a flag, like you said earlier on, it says, "I'm back." I don't know where he was before, but apparently he is back.
The next month, on June 10th, he was again arrested for streaking during Game 4 of the NBA Finals between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Golden State Warriors. This time with Trump sucks on his chest and LeBron for president on his back.
I don't remember any of these. I only remember his stupid, like, gold digger pranks and shit like that.
In 2017, he streaked at the World Series. He also got banned from attending any sort of sporting event, so he eventually got his girlfriend and his mom to streak for him. I guess they really love him. In January of 2020, Vitaly was arrested and spent 5 days in an Egyptian jail after climbing the pyramids of Giza.
Oh yeah, let's raise money. I did this for a good cause. Spread awareness by these beautiful pyramids in Egypt.
Man, I didn't remember any of this shit about him. What the fuck?
He also starred in his own movie with Roman Atwood and Dennis Rohde, which wasn't that great. It was clear to see Vitaly was becoming addicted to the views. As time went on,
he became electric and sly,
began punishing creators for making edgy content. This was horrible for Vitaly, as it meant he either was out of a job or had to become family friendly. He ended up becoming family friendly and now does toy reviews. Imagine? No, fuck no. He instead made an uncensored subscription service to see his videos uncensored. But by the looks of it, that didn't go anywhere. Vitaly began losing relevancy as YouTube suppresses content. And in 2020, his name was back in the news, but for something no one expected. In April of 2020, he was
I won't say no one expected. This man fell so hard. So even before this story broke, it's about to be when he beat the woman. Even before that story broke, there was so many videos, so many clips, and so much shit all about how bad he'd gotten. From drugs to all kinds of, like, different kinds of substance abuse. It was bad. Like, this was not surprising, but the brutality of it caught most people off guard. There's even a video of his arrest. I think it's on Code Blue. Or, not Code Blue. I think it's on Police Activity.
Later charged for aggravated battery by the Miami Beach police. Vitaly tackled a female jogger and struck her multiple times on the head and chest.
Your boy can stay back there.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, here's a clip from it.
No, put your hand on the car.
Just lean on the car, please.
Lean on the car right there.
You got it. I'm sorry, guys.
And he seemingly did this for no reason, but it was later revealed that he was on shrooms.
No, but mushrooms are good. I never had a bad trip until that one time where I flew. So I was COVID mushrooms. I was bored. Last thing I remember is, please help. And I tried to hug her and she pushed me or whatever. I hit her and I realized what I was doing on top of her and I was like, what the fuck? and I didn't even run back to the house. The article says
Jesus Christ.
I didn't know what was happening.
He was released from custody after a $7,500 bond. Vitali reunited with his attorney, Roger P. Foley, and released a video on how Roger was able to get him to avoid 15 years in prison. After filing in on the case, the charges were immediately reduced to felony battery, a third-degree felony, and after a few months, the case was reduced to a misdemeanor and eventually dismissed. I feel like if the charges got dropped because you have a really good lawyer, I don't know why you would make a video on it. It kind of seems like a big fuck you to the woman that got attacked. Like, hey,
yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. I got a good lawyer. It's kind of a weird video to make. Fast forward to 2022, and Vitali seems to be trying to make a comeback to YouTube with classics such as Can I Eat You Out? How Tight Are You? And Epic Farting on Girls prank. Someone needs to tell Vitali we're not in 2015 anymore. He even does the
he's killing it,
guys intro unironically, and it's pretty sad.
What's up, villains? Welcome to another video.
The prank format on YouTube isn't what it used to be. Great examples of new prank channels are Balin Levine, Loaf, Kaisen Nat, Gideon, and the list goes on. But these new era of prank channels have one thing in common. They all have a lovable main character. With Vitali, it's going to be hard for him to gain an audience again, especially after being a woman beater. But I guess we'll see what's next for Vitali.
It should be prison. Tubb doesn't go into it, but he beat the shit out of that girl. Man jumped out of a fucking moving vehicle just to beat a random woman who was jogging. Like, he should not be out of jail. The guy's a menace. So I think it's fucked up. His lawyer got him out of 15 years of prison. What bullshit. Yeah, that guy sucks. Thanks to the resub advanced in the bits, Marty. He's probably out of his fucking mind. Yeah, he absolutely was. It's no excuse, but yeah, he absolutely was. Because the man's been abusing substances for the better part of like 6 years now. Yeah, he must have called Saul, because that guy worked some magic. Thanks to resub owner Twitch.
Yo, hold on, guys. Someone's knocking at my door.
Thanks to tier 1 doctor. A tough skit?
You're under arrest. What do you mean I'm under arrest? Because you don't have the new Earl drop.
A merch skit. Oh, I thought it was like going to be VPN or something.
Earl, the brand you own, the new collection that just dropped.
Thanks to Prime Drew.
Back to School collection, and if people use code
Back to
School, they get 20% off anything at the store. Hey, 20% off
sounds really good.
Give me that. Here you go. Wow, this is really good quality. I'm gonna put it on off camera. Yes, off camera. Yeah, I don't get to see my nipples yet. Oh my god, it's embroidered. Look at that. Y'all
thanks to
still
the
go to
resub, Chunky and Girus.
Isn't that right, cop that randomly
and
came
Fire
to my
Strike.
room? Hey, that's very true. My kids actually go to Earl University. Anyway, you're extremely cute. Hey, what can I say? You are too. Get the fuck out of my room. Okay. Guys, make sure to use code back to school to get this amazing Earl hoodie, which I will be wearing for the remainder of the video. EarlDoesn'tExist.com. Let's move on to the next one. Rice Gum. The story of Brian Lee is a really upsetting one.
Jesus.
I was a big fan of his in 2016. Back in 2016...
How? What was there to be a fan of? In 2016, he was still doing the same dumb shit of, like, diss tracks and saying, these kids need to be stopped. It was like, damn, this kid is so cringe. This kid is just lame. What the fuck was there to be a fan of? The guy hadn't done anything, like, ever. I will legitimately never understand how Rice Gum rose to popularity on the platform. Always blew my fucking mind.
It was definitely a different era. We had YouTubers such as Leafy, Pyrocynical, Grade A Under A, Drama Alert, H3H3, iDubbbz, Filthy Frank, and yes, some of those YouTubers still upload to this day, such as Pyrocynical. Shout out Pyrocynical. If you know me, that's crazy because I look up to you. But we're talking about Rice Gum in specific. I made a video dissecting Rice Gum's fall off last year, so if you want a more in-depth version of that, you can watch that after this one. Anyway, Rice Gum initially blew up off his These Kids Must Be Stopped series, a series where he makes fun of cringeworthy kids on the Musical.ly app.
Alright, man. I don't know if you guys heard it. This fucker just said, I'll be drunk texting you. I did some research. This fool's 13.
The public absolutely loved these videos, and he quickly skyrocketed to 100,000 subscribers. And only 4 months later, he reached the 1 million subscriber mark. He continued roasting other influencers, and the main thing people looked forward to in his videos were the diss tracks.
Your fans are little kids under the age of 12. Tell me why your ears make you look like an elf. You think I'm trying to roast you, but I'm just trying to help. Psych, I'm just here to give you this L.
God, yikes.
Now, these diss tracks weren't good,
even worse
but
than
they
I
were
remember.
extremely entertaining at the time. As time
Tier
went
1
on, he
Dream,
only grew and was
Prime
becoming
Massey.
a mainstream YouTuber. It was great seeing this 19-year-old achieve his dreams. But on January 14th, 2017, he uploaded a video which many fans to this day claim was the beginning of his demise. Finally Moving Out of My Mom's House is a video where Ricegum kinda just tells the audience he's moving. He did move, but 3 months later he moved again into the Los Angeles Clout House, an influencer house founded by
Oh, the
FaZe
Clout
Banks,
House, I
which
forgot
included
about
Alyssa
that.
Violet, Summer Rae, Wolfie Raps, FaZe K, and some other forgettable people. And I don't mean that in a mean way, like some people in there were genuinely forgettable. Now, this is where Ricegum's downfall truly began. Not statistically, though. I mean, he peaked in popularity at this house. Bigger videos, better production, more money, more fame, but that all came with a big ego. You see, if there's anything I've learned from doing research of YouTubers' rise and fall, or just celebrities' rise and falls, it's to never get a big ego. That will just make sure your career dies. But I'm going off track now. Then one day, iDubbbz uploaded a content cop on Ricegum, a video where Ian completely rips Ricegum apart for being an arrogant, money-fueled YouTuber.
He is extremely insecure, and he makes it very obvious when he uploads videos like this, where he details how much money he earns in a month on YouTube.
There's like this video that has been going crazy viral, and basically in the video he shows how much money
Thanks for the resub,
YouTube
Buck.
has paid him. Everyone just giving him so
God,
much
this is
profit.
such a
Everyone loves him.
nostalgic
This dude
trip.
is getting so much street cred, and I'm like,
I can't believe it's been fucking 6
Last month I
years.
made a roughly $60,000. I mean, it's okay. It is actually my lowest paid month. Once again, I only got 20 million views.
I'm not sure what odds he's trying to improve. The odds that a female will finally see him as a suitable sex candidate because he has money, or the odds that his child fan base will revere him more as a god.
After this, Brian's videos began receiving a ton of
No,
dislikes. Now this,
no.
other people, is Ricegum's downfall. I'll
Damn.
explain later why it wasn't. After this, his content began getting more, lewd. But hey, they got views, right? Then he got into this...
Then he tried to make a family channel when he started falling off. The family channel didn't work. His girlfriends wouldn't stay with him, and he just stopped making videos altogether. That's where the curtain closes on the Ricegum story. He tried streaming GTA RP, but after getting insulted by the chat constantly, he eventually called it quits there too. I already know his whole fucking story, man. This guy's just such a fucking L. He was for a long time my least favorite person on the platform. So I kept up with him, man. I was like a full-blown hate watcher. Thanks for the gift sub, Angel.
mystery
The
box
resub
scanning
lol.
situation where he didn't even apologize. He just pointed fingers and was like, hey, they did it too.
There's this YouTuber named Reaction Time. He actually has more subscribers than me. I don't know how because he's not cooler than me. But anyways, he made the same type of video. Like 3 months ago. No one said anything. It wasn't a problem.
And then all of his
Look,
scams,
all
but
these guys
kids
right
don't
here,
care
right?
about getting
Derek
scammed.
David Dobrik's crew, whatever. They're influential. Got kid fans. Same thing. Open up boxes. This was 3 weeks ago. Way before I was doing it. Why did no one bring it up 3 weeks ago or even talk about these guys?
It seems like after this, he just started uploading extremely inconsistently. Fast forward to 2021, and he became a full-time Twitch streamer. The last the general public heard from him was when he was beefing with KSI, and then with Aiden Ross, which, by the way, I don't know if that was real or not.
He's a tier 1
considering they
gaming.
lived in the same fucking house, but quite frankly, I don't care enough to look more into that. Rice.
Yeah, I don't know if Tubbs gonna mention it. He might, but I have to pee really bad, so I want to mention it. He also did a lot of scamming towards like the death throes of his channel. He did like the here's 20 Amazon gift cards to make up for my last scam. And if you used any of the codes, they were already used like 3 years prior. So he just gave like previously used codes. So he scammed on top of a scam. But the scam before that was these like fake loot boxes. Before that was another like fake raffle. So right towards the end of his career, he just started like scamming as much as he could on his way out. Thanks for the 10, damn, thank you for the 10 gift sub size. Oh, Save the Kids, I forgot. Yeah, and Save the Kids. But he was like the most forgettable person in that because by that point he was already completely just out of the public eye. You're right, he was with Save the Kids. I forgot about that. Twitch tweeted about Kai. I saw. I was actually shocked. I think, here's my theory. I think Twitch is now in a position where they feel threatened by YouTube now. So now they're doing everything they can to try and do anything the community has said. I mean, whatever. I mean, I think it's a net positive no matter what. But Twitch just rolled out this terrible elevated chat thing out of nowhere, which is a terrible idea. It seems like it was so haphazardly thrown together because everyone was upset about their 70-30 split going away. So like, wait. But look, yeah, you're all going back to 50-50, but here's an elevated chat functionality, which is more money for you guys. And it's fucking dog shit. So it seems like they're doing everything they can, like hustling and scrambling to try and bring out as much as possible, even when it's not fully realized. But I am glad they finally recognized Kai. It took them long enough.
Scum's main channel hasn't seen an upload since 2020, and same with his Family Guy channel. He doesn't really tweet or post on Instagram. The times when he's most seen is on his girlfriend's TikTok. But personally, I truly believe that January 14th, 2017 was the beginning of Scum's downfall. Again, not numbers-wise, but
Tier 1 Fear, and the 5 gifts of Maki.
Moving to LA
Thank you,
doesn't
Maki.
mean you're gonna turn into this clout
Appreciate it, Maki.
demon. But if you let the lifestyle consume
Hope you're having a
you,
good
it will
night.
turn you into someone no one wants to support. I really would be interested in seeing Brian return to YouTube with a more humble and charismatic attitude. And I'll give him credit. He made his bag.
Impossible.
Left. He even started the entire diss track trend on YouTube. But his image will always be remembered as the arrogant hypebeast who let fame get to his head.
He's also not right there, by the way. Back when I used to like actively shit on Rice Gum, one of his friends actually reached out to me, like an old high school friend, and was just telling me stories about this guy. I can't corroborate any of them, but they were friends. Like, he linked his Facebook. They were friends in high school. He was telling me that Brian was legitimately always a douchebag, but kind of a loner in high school, but still an asshole. So I don't think it was fame that got to him. This guy was legitimately just born a douchebag. He's the resub Jedi 60 and certified in the tier 1 Aragorn.
Carson King, aka Call Me Carson, is a YouTuber who peaked at 2.9 million subscribers, and ever since the incident, his subscriber count has been trickling down. He began his YouTube journey by uploading Minecraft videos to his first 2 channels, which were called GamerCraft157 and Icebox Carson, before eventually moving to the Call Me Carson channel. His channel started taking off in 2017, with videos focusing on Discord trolling, reviewing internet media, and playing video games with his friends. The momentum continued, and the official name of his friend group became Lunch Club. It consisted of Call Me Carson, It's Joko, Jay Schlatt, Slimesicle.
Holy shit. I don't think I've ever seen Schlatt without the facial hair. What? Is this Schlatt? It has to be, right? What? I didn't even know it was possible. I thought this man was literally born with facial hair. God damn. I almost feel like I'm seeing something I'm not supposed to. Taking a peek behind the curtain. God. Oof. I wasn't ready for that.
Hugbox, Travis, Connor Eats Pants, and C-Scoop. I hope I pronounced all of those right. I am so used to calling Ted Nevison Ted Nevision, but I get corrected a lot. It seemed like nothing could go wrong for this friend group, and especially the leader, Call Me Carson. But on January 4th, 2021, a video was uploaded to Drama Alert, of all places, with the title, Call Me Carson's Serious Allegations, Lunch Club Interview. In this video, Lunch Club members Hugbox and Travis explained that Carson has been having inappropriate conversations with underage fans. This included the exchangement of lewd images as well. This information was told to them by Carson himself. That same day, a Twitter user whose information I'll be blurring out said this on Twitter. I can personally come out and say that I've been groomed by Carson. I have talked to many people and never came out about this since now. At the time, I was still 17 and in high school. Here's a few things he said to me. Alright guys, I hate reading word for word, especially when they're a little bit inappropriate. Let's get into this. I'm scared and I want to talk to you for the wrong reasons. Elaborate? What if I only want to talk to you for the sexual part of it? I don't want that, but like, I'm worried about it. What if subconsciously I'm only talking to you because it turns me on or something? Is that really what you want? What other options are there? Also, what would you want to happen? I don't know. All I know is every time I jack off now, I have a really hard time not thinking of you. I guess my brain got stimulated and now
reading anything
more, you know? Sorry,
like any sexual texts are always so fucking cringe. Christ.
And next time you're horny, we can have some fun.
Yeah, this whole situation was super weird.
Yeah,
like the whole 1917 stuff.
This is all my fault. damn.
But then, like, the people closest to Carson said it's more than that, so this whole thing was such a weird mess.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared of getting your hopes up or something. I'm willing to try, but it's such a bad idea. But so is sexting you. Fuck. Carson later revealed in his Discord that the texts were real. Long story short, when I was 19, I sexted a couple of viewers that were 17, extremely regrettable and incredibly embarrassing, felt guilty since, apologized to them both and resolved it privately last year, then Keem got a hold of it like 2 days ago. At the time, the girl was 17 and Carson was 19 years old. Though a 2-year age gap isn't anything to glance about, I guess people did because, one, this is a famous YouTuber and it's easy to like nitpick anything a famous person does. 2, even though the age of consent in the majority of the United States is 16, talking to people that are under 18 on the internet is like a well-known no-no thing to do, especially if you're famous. And 3, people argued that there was a power dynamic, which honestly is something I do agree with. I mean, think about it. If you're a big YouTuber, your fans already see you as a god. So asking them for pictures might just make them feel like they're forced to because they don't want to let down their favorite YouTuber, right? Anyway, Carson lost followers, friends, and basically everything. He stopped uploading, stopped streaming.
No, the hurricane missed Tampa for the most part.
Whenever he did tweet, he would like quickly delete it. It was like this for 7 months until a video titled "Moving Forward" was uploaded by him. This specifically was August 25th, 2021. In this video, he doesn't discuss the situation at all. He says he doesn't want to make more drama, and instead promotes the fact that he's going to be donating 100% of his earnings to charity.
Hey guys, it's been a while. This isn't going to be your average YouTuber apology video, and I'm not going to make it long and drawn out. I've learned a lot this past year. I'm not seeking forgiveness, nor am I looking to make excuses. I'm sure some of you are expecting some long drawn out video explaining my truth of the situation, but I have no intentions of doing that. I'd much rather just tell you what I can do in the future. For the next year, I plan to donate 100% of my profits to charity.
And since that day, he's uploaded 7 more videos onto his channel, and his views clearly don't match to those before the situation. So yeah, Carson is back, but with not nearly the same amount of love he once used to have. In fact, he gets hate.
I forgot that he was doing that for the charity stuff.
I mean, there are definitely trolls that just don't like him, but I think this is a perfect time to move on. Alright guys, I want to give a quick update to the whole Call Me Carson.
Oh, well, actually, you might answer the question I'm about to ask.
Situation. As you guys know, there's been a bunch of Twitch drama recently, and Hugbox actually wanted to add on to that. I won't say it like that, but I'll just say he did add on to the drama, though I didn't see anyone talk about this. Just happened to stumble across it while doing my research. So here's Hugbox's Twitter, and Hugbox actually made a twit longer with the title "Game Over." This got almost 5,000 likes. Like, I would say it got some attraction. I have no idea how I did not hear about this at all. But the twit longer is it's a lengthy read. It's a very lengthy read. But I'll just give you guys the important sentences. I'm going to try to explain the relevant events of the last couple years in the most concise way possible. This was always written off as drama when I try to talk about it, but I only spoke of it because it really bothered me and I cared. It's not easy to be threatened with legal action when you're just trying to tell people what's going down. That's why my tweets were always so cryptic. I'm not a clout chaser. I haven't even made money over the last several years, only alienated my audience since I started talking about this stuff, and at this point want absolutely nothing to do with the internet. We'll start with the Carson thing. I
read this and this guy tries to make this whole thing about himself. I vaguely heard about this. I will say off rip, him saying I'm not a clout chaser but calling this game over is kind of contradictory. That just immediately rubs me the wrong way.
Started talking about this stuff, and at this point want absolutely nothing to do with the internet. We'll start with the Carson thing. I found out about what he did in March 2020, and for a moment considered tweeting it right then and there. Unfortunately, I did not have any concrete details initially. In fact, the few details I had were lies. The group had a meeting later that day, which our manager, Ryan, told us that he had dealt with this several times before and we can make this go away. And some members of the group insisted we needed to stick by Carson. At this point, I was checked out completely, but naively was shocked that so many people seemed to value their careers over doing the right thing. Over the next several months, I started asking around as to what others had been told, and found out that every single person was told an entirely different story as to how many girls he was contacting and what their ages were. This pushed me to do something, and I had actually gotten the entire group to agree to recording a video of each of us simply saying what we were told and uploading it directly to the Lunch Club channel. No baseless accusations, no clout chasing, just the truth. At the last moment, many pulled out of the video because, in Shalat's words, he had too much to lose. Deja vu. It was never supposed to go through Keemstar. I'm gonna skip this paragraph. Again, you guys can just go to Hugbox's Twitter to read the whole thing because it is a lot. Carson had had a whole Discord of content creators that aided him in strategizing
Makes me
damage
so
control
bad.
in the lead up to the drama alert, because naturally Ryan had gone behind my back, warned him, and tried to prep him. I know this because not all of them suck and they told me what was up. Then the creators in that Discord fled like rats from a sinking ship when it was clear the situation was not salvageable. I called Carson several times in the days leading up to the drama alert because I did not want the venue to discredit the story, and I wanted him to take responsibility for his actions like a fucking adult. To this day, he hasn't even admitted to what he did, and everyone still thinks it was a 2-year age gap. That is not true. So if we go to the responses on the tweet, we get stuff like this. I like how instead of telling us why it was worse than a 2-year age gap, he simply didn't.
Oh, that's rough.
Elaborate on
Sorry
that.
to hear that, Lamone.
No, it's a very strange twitlonger because, I mean, he's being cryptid like he said, but he said something about legal action, so I don't know. I don't know that. I'm just the messenger. I want to make that clear. I'm just the messenger, and I just felt like I should update you guys since something else came through to the story. It's very odd that Hugbox says that there wasn't a 2-year age gap. It was that was not it. But yet this girl says that she's 17. But I also remembered apparently there were multiple girls. I don't know. It's very weird. What I'm telling you guys is not factual. Again, just the messenger.
Yeah, this shit is so fucking messy. What?
I guess now we're actually going to talk about another YouTuber, you know, because we're continuing the video. Shout out to Five Nights at Freddy's t-shirt. But yeah, let's head on to the next person on the list.
I don't know much about Hugbox. So what was he saying? What was Hugbox saying then? Now I'm just left really fucking confused. Thanks to the bits, Vintage. Yeah, I haven't seen too much from it though, Vintage. Not since we first looked at it, but I am keeping my eye on it. So wasn't a whole lot of new stuff in the twitlonger. Okay. All right. Okay.
FaZe K and FaZe Jarvis.
Oh, these are huge. FaZe Jarvis posted a video cheating in Fortnite. He was like, I'm trying out an aimbot in Fortnite for content. Got permabanned. Cried. FaZe K saved the kids. Kicked out of FaZe. Cried.
And began as a Call of Duty sniping team. Members would achieve impressive clips only using sniper rifles and later create montages which would be uploaded onto YouTube. When FaZe Clan started out, they were all just kids in high school enjoying the most played game at the time. By 2012, the YouTube channel had hit 1 million subscribers and it was the thing to know about FaZe Clan if you played Call of Duty. Everyone and their mom wanted to join FaZe Clan at one point. I wanted to join FaZe. 2014 to 2016 is when I would say FaZe truly peaked. This was when the main members of FaZe all moved into a house in New York and called that the FaZe house. Many fans still say this was the best era to be a fan of FaZe. And FaZe hasn't stopped growing at all. They even have esports teams in every major video game. They also recruit athletes, and not to mention that their main focus is still Call of Duty, with members such as Swag.
Is that their main focus?
Call of Duty. Also, I can't
Nah, they're much bigger than that now.
The best member, FaZe Jev. Yo, Jev, if you're watching this, I just want to let you know you're a huge inspiration to me, and thank you so much for always being you. Anyway, let's first talk about FaZe K, who joined FaZe in 2013. This was thanks to his sniping skills. He would upload gaming content and occasionally have his younger brother Jarvis join in on videos.
What's going on, guys? This is FaZe K, and I'm doing a Q&A today. I asked some of you guys on Twitter to ask questions to ask my brother, who is here next to me.
Though K never got nearly as many views as his American peers, I'll give him credit for going outside the box and attempting to capture the more IRL side of gamers. And when he would get views, it was for very out-of-place content like water bottle flip videos. You'd never expect that to be uploaded by
Damn, he did a lot of that.
I mean, they brought in views, so he was doing something right. Around this time is when his younger brother Jarvis began uploading content of his own. But things would change in 2018 around Fortnite's peak. K would begin to make videos revolving around his little brother and Fortnite. The views were immense, and at this point, K was living in a new LA FaZe house, or the Clout house. Either way, it was a fucking influencer house. Eventually, thanks to his skills and very, very saturated thumbnails, Jarvis joined the one and only FaZe Clan in 2019. The momentum only continued, and then Jarvis got banned from playing Fortnite due to using hacks in the game, aimbot to be specific. He wasn't playing competitively, he just downloaded some mods and wanted to make a cool video out of it.
I'm truly so sorry. Epic, I know I have to take accountability for my actions, and you know I'm gonna do my best to accept any punishment or come comes my way, whatever happens.
Epic Games decided to make an example out of him and banned him from
He's
playing
still
the game.
banned, right?
No, this doesn't mean that when he goes to his friend's house and picks up the controller, the FBI just breaks down the fucking door and arrests
tier 1
him.
spicy.
It just meant that if you made any new accounts publicly, they would all just automatically get banned. This also meant Jarvis had to switch content. He basically became...
It's just such a stupid idea. Like, I don't remember how old he was when he did it. I think he was probably like 18 or something. But what a dumb fucking idea. I'm going to knowingly cheat in this game for a video. Like, I don't know what you would possibly expect to happen from that. It's so... Like, I feel like almost bad. Because to be so stupid to think it's a good idea, like it's... I don't know. Still, very, very dumb.
Challenges and TikTok life hacks. By the way, these thumbnails are still,
very
bright. In 2020, he quote-unquote fooled the internet that he was playing Fortnite again. He went live and had someone else play for him. Then his username got leaked and Epic Games banned him on the spot. But when did FaZe K and FaZe Jarvis's careers go to shit? Kids. The Save the Kids crypto scam.
Yeah.
YouTuber was hopping onto the crypto coin.
Save the Kids.
Well, this was one of them. This was a coin that claimed it would be used for charity and used the likes of K, Jarvis, Tico, Ricegum, and Nikon in order to get more clout. This was an entire mess, and I'm gonna dumb it down for you guys, but if you guys want full explanation, make sure to go watch Copyzilla's video. It's an amazing detailed video.
That is a great video on it.
Fans would buy this coin thinking that the value was only gonna go up. You know, they probably thought it was gonna be the next Bitcoin, but instead, the owners of the coin just left with all the money. I believe this is called a pump and dump scam. All the people in that
got
video
rugged.
were part of it except Tico. Tico was genuinely innocent, which is why he's back in FaZe now. But everyone else in that video, yeah, they got a lot of money from the fans that were trying to support this charity. Due to this, K was kicked from FaZe, and Jarvis, Nikon, and Tico were suspended until further notice.
He's got some tacos.
Well, he's Ricegum. He wasn't a part of like any team or anything. He's just himself. So this is where K's career started going downhill. I mean, why wouldn't it? Who wants to support a scammer? Then K came out saying that the mastermind behind all of this was Sam Pepper. Yeah, the dude with Black Ops 3 dark matter for hair. This response wasn't really taken that well, and his views dipped right
Probably
after
really was
this.
Sam
While
Pepper, but you're also a
editing this,
fucking idiot for doing anything with Sam Pepper. It's your fault. How Sam Pepper still somehow infiltrates anything blows my fucking mind. He's like the most well-known scammer of all time. Hey, thanks again, Maki. Thanks for 5 gift subs in the tier 1 Climate, and the resub Chaser, and SSB.
I thought I got the wrong channel. I thought I put Jarvis's channel instead of K's. But notice how much K uses his brother in his thumbnails. Like, do you not think you have a photogenic face? I literally thought this was Jarvis's channel. I was like, okay, I gotta re-screenshot it. No, this is K's channel. I did not make a mistake. Again, please stop the oversaturated thumbnails. Jarvis had a boxing match, which he won, and he was back in FaZe. Then, this video was uploaded. Why I left FaZe Clan, where he explains that he left FaZe Clan because his big brother was kicked.
Weird for me because I don't want to be a part of FaZe if, like, you're not in FaZe as well.
Oh, that's so wholesome.
Obviously, me and you, we started YouTube since the very beginning.
Trust.
All of this happened because of you and you pushing me to, like, make videos, start vlogging,
give some
start
beaches
streaming.
and the resub
really
Duluth.
all happened
Give some
because
Claire.
you pushed me to do it.
Aww,
tier 1
so
Swoosh
sweet.
and tier 1
Except
Carla.
Not really, because this is when Jarvis would begin uploading less frequently and get less views. And no, YouTube Shorts don't count because those views are from randoms, not your fans. I forgot to mention that they have another channel called Jarvis and K.
Oh, nice.
They do upload more frequently, but the views aren't there either. And for some reason, while watching their videos, I feel like they're always finding a way to diss FaZe.
7 months ago, I left FaZe Clan, and after watching these TikToks, I think I made the right decision.
It's like I get the vibe of like biting the hand that fed you. I mean, even the
These are some
fans
Fisto.
dislike the videos, and it's very weird. I don't know. It seems like they have a big ego after leaving FaZe. I truly believe Jarvis could have saved his career by just staying in FaZe. It doesn't matter if you were banned from Fortnite. There's new Call of Duties every year to make content on. I get that family comes first, and that's super respectable that he did that. But read.
What is K doing? I know he showed his channel, but is that really all he's doing? Yep. That's really all he's doing. He legitimately does just use his brother in every single thumbnail. I would have no idea this is K's channel. Legitimately. There is nothing here that tells me this is FaZe K's channel. That's crazy. But man, this content does look fire. Awesome. I asked her to be my girlfriend on camera. Whoa. I exposed Jarvis playing Fortnite? Oh, no. And what is Jarvis doing? Maybe Jarvis only has K in the thumbnail. That'd be huge. No, I guess not. He also hasn't fallen off nearly as hard. Yeah, it's mainly just K. So Jarvis has 2 channels? Well, yeah. Jarvis and K have 2 channels. They have their own, and then they have the FaZe and Jarvis channel. Or the K and Jarvis channel.
Joining FaZe doesn't mean fuck you, bro, to your brother. It just
Makes
means
the
you're looking
bits
out for
fist.
yourself. It's quite literally your livelihood.
That's a
Nowadays,
good question,
they both
Fist. I
upload
don't know.
shorts and Mr. Beast inspired videos, but it doesn't seem their audience is there anymore. Jarvis had a video get over 1 million views recently, but it's because FaZe members are in it. Pretty ironic. I mean, you could have stayed. You could have fucking stayed in the group. But yeah, let's head on to the next one. Kiwis. Kiwis first started gaining popularity in
I forgot about this one.
2015 when he was part of the Call of Duty team Red Reserve. This team was seen as a stepping stone to FaZe Clan. During this time, the Red House became a thing, and this included Formula, Random,
Who?
Nyx, Kiwis,
Oh, man.
Game Gandhi. Since
Crazy,
we're talking
no one
about Red,
remembers
I gotta
this.
mention Red's best member, Game Gandhi. He was always the best person out of their crew and had the best content, and it just sucks that he got grouped with this
I won't
team.
spoil it. I'll
Anyway,
let Tub
this house had
explain.
a life of its own. Like, the chemistry
It's pretty
was there,
bad, though.
and the Gandhi vlogs were sweet and to the point. They weren't seen as rip-off FaZe anymore. They were just becoming Red. Until one day in 2016, Keemstar uploaded a video where Kiwi's attempts to justify why he sent a 12-year-old girl images while he was 17. And that had started a year and a half before the interview, so now the girl was 14 and he was 19. Either way, it's fucking disgusting. And then he proceeds to shoot himself in the foot.
Because
Okay, so
it was just weird.
You sent pictures when you were 17 and she was 12. Now, I believe she said that
She said she was 14.
I believe.
And the kick logs will prove it. Like, if you guys
Ugh.
get it, like.
Okay,
it's there,
but she
like-
said she was 14 or whatever. But
It
she
was a month ago.
Yeah, and a month ago on Snapchat, yes.
Okay, so a month ago you sent her a picture.
Yes.
But the problem with that is you're 19 and she's 14 at the time.
But the thing, like, I was in a
Eek.
really like depressed state. Like, she was
Yeah.
talking to me. Like,
Yep.
she kept on saying how she was saying how she was so attached to me. And I was saying, and she said how she wanted to meet up, and I said that's really weird. I don't want to meet up. Like, that's something you can't bank on. Like, that's just really weird. I don't want to do that. And she's claimed that she wants to meet up with other people. There's another person in Red that she talks to that she wanted to meet up with. Specifically, and we can talk more about that in private.
But oddly enough, this wasn't the end of his career. He continued uploading and even uploaded a response video where he flat out victim blames the girl.
I shouldn't have trusted this girl. I shouldn't have. I don't know why I did what I did. She convinced me that I could trust her, and it was a mistake. And that's something I will never make ever again. This girl lied about her age and convinced me to send her pictures of myself. Like, she sent pictures to me too, but
his audience seemed to have liked and supported him. By this time, everyone knew about the situation, and due to living
I never saw that. This man's just out here confessing to full-blown crimes without knowing it. Thanks to Resub, Helicity, Waifu, and Jay. I only knew that first part. So the dude straight up like admits like, hey, I thought she was 14, so I sent her all these nudies. Yeah, that's why I was, being romantically involved with a 14-year-old. I didn't know she was 12. She fucking lied to me. Can you believe that bitch? I didn't know he even made a response video where he just like straight confirms it and then makes it clear that he also received child porn. Yikes.
in the Red House. The address was public. I don't know if they publicized it themselves. I'm sure they wouldn't dox themselves so fans could come over and say hi, but their address was known. Anyway, Kiwis got confronted at his own house by a random person, but it was done horribly. The person called him a... Like, the dude filming could have at least said some factual stuff instead of just saying that he's a...
Red Formula.
Yeah,
the leader
what's up,
of the Red Reserve.
What's up, man?
What's good, man?
How you doing, man?
What's going on,
you a
dude?
fan?
Yeah, I'm a fan of the Red Reserve. Is Kiwis around?
Yeah, he is.
Do you think I could talk to him?
Yeah, sure. You wanna come on in for a bit?
Yeah, sure.
What?
Red Kiwis.
Oh, hey, what's
DJ
up?
Tittynack.
Yeah,
in
what's
real
up?
life, the man with the big shorts.
Yeah, what's up, dude?
I wanted to ask you a question.
Okay.
Why did you rape that girl?
Oh, you think you're funny?
Yes.
That is not funny at all, dude.
Alright, you gotta leave, dude.
Leave, bud?
You gotta get out of the house.
Why did you do it?
You gotta get out of the house.
Why would they invite this guy in?
Yeah, I know the whole story.
Get out of the fucking
Why
house.
did you do it? Why did you do it? You sent your dick online to a girl that was 14 years old. That was 14 years old.
Do you realize? Do you not understand that she completely lied about her age?
Get out of the house.
It's proven.
Get out of the fucking house.
That's why I'm here.
The reason why Kiwi's story is so odd is because he never stopped uploading.
Why the fuck? How dumb is that whole house? What? Is everyone in that house just an actual fucking idiot? It's so fake. I don't know, man. It may be. I choose to believe that over them being that fucking stupid. I don't see why it would be fake, though, because then that once again just puts it in the public eye that this dude was sexting a child. Sending and receiving pictures from a child. So why would they try and make a fake video about it? Like, that seems like a terrible idea. Crazy.
He even peaked in 2018, 2 years after that situation. This was, of course, with the help of overly saturated Fortnite thumbnails. Yay! Fast forward to 2021, and skipping over his new team, which failed, John Mueller uploaded a documentary about him, and he got dislikes for a little bit, but kept uploading. His views nowadays are nowhere near his peak, and it's just sad, really. Seeing when YouTubers ruin their careers, but don't have anywhere else to go because they make their money on the internet. I mean, they could go work at their local Food for Less, but I think at that point of being a YouTuber, your ego's really high, so you just don't want to do that. And there's a chance you could get recognized, it's just always gonna be awkward. We're literally watching these people die inside. But yeah. Alright guys, thanks so much for watching the video. I just want to say I don't condone the harassment of any of these people. I don't want my subscribers to be those subscribers that go to these pages and leave hate comments. Don't do that. Let's just watch from the sidelines, chill out. But looking at all these names, the only person I would say really didn't do anything wrong, just made like a bad decision, was Jarvis. I don't think he did anything to get canceled for it.
Yeah, his was very stupid. He cheated in a game, and the game happened to be his cash cow. I agree. Out of everyone on this list, Jarvis was like the most like trivial, the most innocent. He cheated in Fortnite because he's a fucking idiot, and he got banned for it, which cost him like his career as a Fortnite creator. But he's still doing fine. Oh, actually, no, he was in Save the Kids. Actually, I forgot. I actually totally forgot he was in Save the Kids. Never mind. It's crazy. Every time I hear Save the Kids, I only think of FaZe K. Yeah, never mind. I totally forgot that he was also part of Save the Kids.
Fortnite, and he chose his brother over FaZe Clan, which I think was the wrong decision. Yeah, just wanted to make that clear. Leave a like, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and make sure to go to earldoesn'texist.com to get yourself some new Earl clothing and use code BACKTOSCHOOL. I don't even know how much percent off. It's on the screen. Yeah, music video coming out soon. The name of that song is Overdose, and that'll be part of my 9 to 10 track EP. There will be a whole movie on this channel, so I can't wait for you guys to see that. I'm so excited. Sorry for missing an upload. I was recording the music video for that. So follow me on TikTok, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. All the ads were right there. Specifically TikTok. Like, I hate when I pop up on people's For You page and they're like, "Oh my god, you have it?" Yes, I have all social medias, bro.
He's using Lud and Schlatt's music.
I'm gonna go have sex with your mom, and I'll see you guys next time I upload.
You're right, actually. That wasn't that. Yeah, this is 8 hours old, so I actually think that was Lud and Schlatt's Music Emporium. So is Kiwi's still uploading? Holy fuck.
I got you.
Yeah, that's further evidence. Unless you're like literally thrown in jail. If you just ignore it and keep posting, you'll be alright. Goddamn. He doesn't get nearly the views he used to, but I mean that's still enough to make a living off of. What about Mini Lad? Yeah, his is the same deal. We already talked about that one. He doesn't get the views he used to, but still enough to make a living. Oh, what did Mini Lad do? Oh, that's another huge story. I don't even know where to begin. Christ. That one I'd say just look that one up on your own time and set aside a couple hours to get the whole gist of it.